dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future. I say these words to you tonight. I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. God bless you.
Sometimes in history, there's this magic moment. Somebody appears on the scene and everything changes.
I am with you.
We've never seen anything like this.
I will fight for you.
This was a man who's met his destiny.
And I will win for you.
He said he was saved by God in order to make America great again.
His victory was the greatest comeback of all time.
We're watching history, so buckle up.
I don't think the American people have ever seen this before. A government that has moved this quickly and a president that has done so much when it comes to the border and energy and major investments from other countries. It's like warp speed.
47's on a hot streak, bringing head-snapping change to Washington, overwhelming the system with a volcanic eruption of action. Trump has a mandate from the people, and he's using it, and they're just getting started.
President Trump said on the campaign trail, success will be my retribution.
Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free. We're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do what I'm doing.
America's back, common sense is back. He is keeping his promise to you, the American people.
Inflation is down, growth is up.
The numbers don't lie. The economy is soaring.
Lowest gas prices in 4 years.
And record tariff revenue.
The USA is on a roll, culminating in the signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill on July 4th.
The Trump economic golden age is full steam ahead. America is back thanks to the courage of President Trump, thanks to the leadership of his amazing cabinet, and thanks, of course, to our brave men and women in the United States military.
This is a message to the rest of the world. The days of ripping off America and Americans are officially over.
Between the attacks on Iran's nuke site and the Maduro operation, the U.S. military recruitment at an all-time high.
This president will go down in history as a peacemaking president.
Peace through strength. America's in charge.
And he's just got one filter, and that is America first.
Whatever they're doing, it's working. Zero illegal crossing, drug cartels frustrated, less crime.
We have the most secure border in the history of this nation. If you think we're doing good now, you just wait till this coming year.
The president isn't taking his foot off the gas in 2026.
It's a new year. The stock markets are already making new record highs. The Trump archive are a series of near impossible feats.
As for the next year, the American people have so much to look forward to. The president will continue to build off of his historic accomplishments.
2025 is setting the table, but the banquet's going to be in 2026.
This is the golden age coming.
He says, make America great again because every American is invited.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun.
There isn't one of us that doesn't want to be someplace else. This is what we do, who we are.
survive a war, you gotta become war.
Boom. Welcome to D-Class. Happy March 31st, 2026. The Tuesday version of D-Class. Super excited. We got tons to talk about. Holy crap. March has been, as far as I'm concerned, complete madness. And we are on the brink of the timeline that is Easter, April Fool's Day, etc. We've gotten major messaging about March and April. And here we go. So, guys, you know the deal. Hit the positive affirmation button on whatever platform it is you're watching on. Thumbs up on Rumble. Take that red pill and pill it. If you're watching on X or Facebook, hit the heart, drop a comment, share the show. Let's hear from the boss and get right into this thing.
I wouldn't miss a chance to talk to my friends. These are my friends.
I wouldn't miss a chance. What's up, brother?
Every day is like April Fool's. March Madness leads to April showers. What's up, dude?
Bro, it's going to be awesome. This is crazy. And it's funny, you know, you wake up super early, you start looking, you're like, oh man, there's really not a lot to talk about. And then 30 minutes before the show writes itself. It happens every time. I need to start sleeping in.
That is because we are being showered with psyops right now.
Completely showered.
Psyops.
Yeah. Well, speaking of psyops, it's somebody's birthday. I just found out. I actually thought it was last weekend. Turns out it's actually today. I got psyoped by the one and only Ashley Gunnels. Happy birthday, Patrick Gunnels.
Thank you, guys. I'm actually the big 5-0 today, and it feels just fine because I got to wake up to my wife saying, how does it feel to be so old? And I said, it feels fabulous because I'm with you, baby, and you're younger than me. And so It's a good birthday. It's a fun birthday, and we're just going to have a little bit of cake and we're going to have a very low key at home with just the family and watch some Star Trek and go to sleep. So we've had our real celebrations already.
That's a Patrick birthday. No cake on the beach. That's
no cake by the ocean. Just just some Deep Space Nine and passing the F out.
Patrick, you don't need to watch fake space dramas on at home. You could just turn on Fox News right now. It's all over the news right now.
Such a wonderful thing. When my wife and I started dating, I began most conversations, not even started dating, like started talking on a regular basis, like every day. I began most conversations with, space is fake and gay. How are you? And she was just baffled by that, but she kept talking to me. And I would say that she is not entirely negatively disposed towards space being fake and gay now. But it's been a long road because it's a long road for a lot of people. And like I say often, some of my best friends think they live on a ball, and I do not hold that against them.
Your balls or the thought?
I do not hold my balls against them, and I do not hold the thought against them.
Well, Dave, I know we said we want to do the library, but we might as well show that first.
Sure. Well, can we set this up a little bit real quick?
Yeah, please do.
Just revisit what, and there's a reason for this. Revisit what we were talking about on Saturday, right? We went through like this whole series of clips, right? We've been talking about this buildup they've been doing since like last November of UFOs and how they're slowly normalizing the notion of UFO conversation, culminated by that interview with JD Vance sitting there with Benny Johnson saying that he doesn't believe aliens are aliens. He thinks they're demons. And then the next day, the New York Post comes out and says, oh, look at this record numbers of exorcisms across the country because of demons, right? With all these NASA, these scientists and the general going missing, right? So all that's been rumbling in the news space. And then Patrick comes in and tells us about, I guess we're going back to the moon, apparently.
On April Fool's Day?
The perfect day.
On April Fool's Day?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's say that one more time. So we're going as soon as April Fool's Day?
You guys decide.
Okay, you guys, don't be one of the fools who are going to be fooled on April Fool's Day. The so-called Artemis mission from NASA is set to be launched in 4 days on April Fool's Day. Today is Saturday, March 28th, 2026, and the launch coverage has already begun. And as it says in their article here, they are set to launch no earlier than 6:24 p.m. on Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2026. You don't want to be one of those fools. They're telling us they're going to go fly around the moon, pass the Van Allen belt, violate the gas law, violate the law of thermodynamics. This is all a show, okay? We've all seen the videos. NASA has been exposed. And have you guys seen the image of the route that they take when they going around the moon? They're laughing in our faces. You don't want to be one of the fools. And did you guys also hear? They want to build bases on the moon.
Finally, here at noon, NASA outlined a plan on Tuesday to build a permanent base on the moon. The agency says that it wants a sustained human presence there aimed at strengthening U.S. leadership in space. NASA says that the plan calls for more frequent missions, initially targeting landings every 6 months. The rollout would happen in phases, starting with robotic missions, then building infrastructure, and then later enabling long-term stays. NASA says that the first crewed moon missions since the 1970s are set to begin next year.
Can I add one? Let me add one more thing as far as how coordinated all this messaging is. I forgot to add this in. Of course, today on Outnumbered on Fox, it's 4 women, 1 dude in the middle, hence the Outnumbered. They just happen to have this dude today, Captain Butch Wilmore, his first appearance on Fox News. Author of Stuck in Space, An Astronaut's Hope Through the Unexpected. That goes back to, remember the rescue mission with all the 17s in it? 17,000 miles an hour. It landed on platform 17. It was, this dude was one of the dudes. And of course, he's got a new book out describing what a harrowing mission it was. So all this,
the one that that Elon had to go up and rescue.
Yeah, because Joe Biden forgot about them.
That's so cool,
right? And then they dropped. We did it on I think Joe's show or D. It doesn't matter. There was literally like 5 of the things in one story all had 17,000 miles an hour. Landed on platform 17. It was 5,000, but all the numbers were there. So it's just just all this stuff. This is all just going on at exactly the same time. That people are talking about aliens. We're talking about demons. This comes out of nowhere. Like, I'm going to calm down for a minute. How on earth do we get to a point where it's just like, hey, by the way, we're going back to the moon tomorrow, and there's like no build up to it, right? I'm sure there's been some out in like the nerd space, but like this isn't like Trump wasn't talking about it in a big way. It wasn't a hugely messaged thing, and we're going as soon as tomorrow, April Fool's Day.
We haven't done it since the 70s?
Since 1973. Yeah. Yeah, and NASA says, this is the picture we took of Earth for you idiots. This is how we know that we're in space. And then they haven't taken a single picture with any of their satellites since.
And the explanation as to why we never went back to the moon after the last mission, and everyone please fact check this for yourselves. The explanation is NASA lost all the records on how to do it.
Oh no, actually, yeah, that's sort of how it works, except it was this way. I go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but we don't have the ability to do that. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back up again. That is one of our most gifted astronauts with PhDs in various smart boy fields.
Wait,
by the way, it was a really good impression of him, by the way.
I have a question for you guys. there's somebody that you both know that said that China was on the dark side of the moon bringing back helium.
Mm-hmm.
And that they've been doing so for a large period of time. It's just unbeknownst to society.
Well, they need to, because NASA uses all the helium to keep their satelloons up in the air. That's exactly why they need the helium.
But I want to ask you, do you guys find that to be a legitimate report or not?
I find the best lies contain lots and lots of truth. Helium's a thing. You have to get it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think they get it from a floating rock in the sky, but they do get it from somewhere, and I don't think they're going to tell us where they get it from. So that's just as good as that story is just as good as any.
Interesting.
I wasn't going to play this, Joe, but since we're going to lean into this for a second,
here we go.
And we're talking about satelloons. I just keep an eye on what are the things that are getting circulated on social media that are getting large engagement, large numbers, right? Because to me that's kind of where you see where the seagrass is going. So this is one that was going around earlier this week, actually over the weekend.
Images of satellites. Do it.
Literally that images.
Yeah, be like satellite. Type in a satellite. Just like type in satellite. Like you'll see no.
The moon landing's a little weird.
You'll see no. There's all like they're just all.
There's no real pictures.
They're all
graphics.
Yeah, dude. Not a single one is not. This is the one thing that tripped me out. I'm not gonna lie. They're all just like renders.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do you think?
This is the one. I'm gonna say this is the one thing that trips me out. I've never seen a satellite that was real.
Oh, that's
saying,
why would they? Why are they selling us on round? Because it's not only just. It's not that's not the only thing they're selling you on. They're selling you on space as well. That's why you thinking like that, because you thinking out of space and all those other planets and stuff.
Real?
Like that. Yeah. Huh?
You don't think it's real? You don't think sun's real?
No. Sun is real. The sun and the moon is real.
Okay.
But outer space is not.
Yeah, because we haven't seen. Then what is it? What are we doing?
Water over the firmament. Is water.
Over the firmament. He's talking.
Where's the ocean, man? We under the firmament, under the dome, and there's water over the firmament. It says it in the Bible. The outer space there's no such thing.
There's no such thing as outer space.
No, and that's the whole thing that got you tricked and why you think the other planets and stuff. The planets are wandering stars.
Eddie Griffin has had a lot to say since the launch of his podcast, The Butt Naked Truth. His main argument would be that the government is trying to scare people from talking.
Ain't nobody been to the moon. Ain't nobody been outside this giant cage we're trapped in. The firmament is real. This is why rocket ships take off and they start shooting at an angle.
Thing about the path that the rocket.
All right. Anyway, I'll stop.
I love these based, famous black people. Rampage Jackson. I know that dude. I know that dude from watching him beat the crap out of people. Eddie Griffin.
I want to clarify something for the audience. We have this. Joe and I both get together and contribute content for these shows, but typically on Tuesdays, it's kind of Joe steers the ship, and on Saturdays, I kind of steer the ship. So for the record, I said, hey, why don't we just start with something fun like Trump's new presidential library? It wasn't me that said, let's talk about the moon mission. I just want to be very clear about that for the audience.
It's completely my fault.
Hey, that's awesome. Joe, you took the initiative to take us off the rails this time. So
yeah, but you know why? It's because of who I'm hanging out with. Look,
there's that too.
It's you two.
Yeah,
dude. It's you two. So I'm going to play on that side of the fence because I understand what you guys believe. And when there's things that justify and co-sign the things that you believe, I find it hysterical. If I was hanging out with Kate and Awakened Outlaw, I might play on the other side of the fence. I've never come out and said I was on one side or the other. I have always said I've done my research on both.
Good job.
I don't know, but you guys crack me up with this stuff. And the audience loves it. So it used to be divisive. Now it's not as much. It's not as much now.
If Smart Paul and JF Anon and I can coexist on the same screen, then flat earthers and globe earthers can get along just fine.
Let me add one more thing.
This is just both ways.
This is just my spidey senses when it comes to narrative deployment. I said this to Patrick backstage. Seeing where this is all going and the fact that now they're doing this on April 1st, what I think there's a high probability of happening is because I just did a very quick bit of research on this when you told us. And so it's multiple missions starting on April 1st. My gut is telling me that over the next number of months, this is going to be woven into the news cycle, and it's going to get more and more absurd every time they do it. That's my prediction. It's just a gut feeling, but I have a feeling based on how they've done stuff, that's what's coming next.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There are no real pictures of satellites. We didn't land on the moon in the 70s. And so it's a really hard jumping off point when I have to defend my Glober friends.
We call them ballers. We call them ballers.
It is. I mean,
I call them God's special little people.
We've been lied to so much. That it's understandable that people would try to use logic to look at these things and go, well, wait a second, why are they lying so much? And so I am with you guys 117% on that. I've seen, P90X cameras look across the Great Lakes and see grass. Doesn't make sense to me. Something's not adding up.
I'm with you, bro.
Well, we'll get back into the April 1st stuff. I do think we got one more light thing before we get deep into it. Dave, if you want to take over on the library, which is absolutely this concept, it's what it is, right? It's a concept car. It's brilliant to look at. If they even come 17% close to what they show in this concept video, it is mind-blowing. It makes the prison that Barack Obama put together look exactly like that. Someplace he's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. This thing is unbelievable. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, that the way they do these renderings now, this is done from actual plans. So what you see here will be done down to the last screw and nail that you see in this video. And as a former builder myself, I am nerding out on this thing. Let me just show you the post first, because I think this is significant. Eric Trump put this up. First look, the Donald J. Trump Presidential Library is officially here. Over the past 6 months, I have poured my heart and soul to this project with my incredible team at Trump. This landmark on the water in Miami, Florida will stand as a lasting testament to an amazing man, an amazing developer, and the greatest president our nation has ever known. These images have never been seen by the public until today. Enjoy TrumpLibrary.org. I thought it was interesting that he posted it at 1820. That is exactly 2020 in military time. 2020, this is not another 4-year election. This is also pretty early to be this far along in the library. But yeah, let's take a look at the video. This thing is unbelievable.
Patrick, this will blow your mind, bro. If this comes even close, it will blow your mind.
Okay, let's check it out.
It'll match it. It'll match it.
I'm going
That
to
is freaking lit, man.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be there on opening when they cut the ribbon. It's not that far from us. I'll be down. I'll be down there filming.
And I will be down there after the initial wave has died off because I can't really stand standing in line, but it'll be amazing.
Let's by contrast, let's take a look at the official video.
Do it, dude.
I posted that yesterday and I said, take one look at this building and it will tell you versus the Obama library. And it will tell you everything you need to know about who's been in full control of this country for well over a decade. This video is look at that video and now look at this one that the Obama library put out.
When visitors look up at the Obama Presidential Center's museum building, they'll see 3 simple, powerful words. You are America. Those words come from a speech that is especially close to my heart. The one I gave in Selma on the 50th anniversary of the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That day we honored ordinary men.
All right, we don't need to listen to that whole video, but this is one of the best side-by-sides I've ever seen of that building because it's getting absolutely trashed. Trashed by the people of Chicago.
Whoa. What?
It's literally in the shape of an upside-down trash receptacle.
No.
Yes. Yeah. You tell me who built this thing.
Donald Trump built this thing.
Yep.
It wasn't anybody with building experience unless they had such building experience they could make it look like a trash can.
Yep.
A prison and a trash can.
I feel like I'm going insane.
I've stayed in buildings that looked like that.
What? Now, this is really in your face, man. This is, hey, smack, wake up. It's a show. Yes. We're about to do a curtain call here, guys. It's time to realize what you're watching ain't real.
And think about it, dude. He's been out of office. Trump is still in office, and you're getting full-on 3D scaled renderings of what he's going to do. Right? Ooh. This dude's been out of office now for 10 years. And the damn thing still isn't open yet. It's over budget. They've had embezzlement accusations, labor issues. Like, they could not have scripted it any better if you know what you're looking at right now.
How many gazillions of dollars do you have to launder fraudulently to finish a prison trash can looking library?
No. It's both a prison and a trash can. No. I know it looks like a prison, but hear me out. It's also a trash can. So
literally. and I've had a sneaking suspicion from day one that thing's never going to open.
Huh. Whoa. I kind of hope
or if it does, it's not, it's going to be something else.
Where's that? It's in California, right?
Chicago.
Okay. Wonder if I can go there when they cut the red tape for that one too. Whew. I gotta start getting some boots on the ground. I want to start filming stuff.
That's we need some freaking boots on the ground and not it. Okay. Anyway.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I know, man.
That would be golden footage.
You can imagine you doing man on the street interviews.
I would do it.
Ending the interviews with "I love you." It would be.
I would do.
Oh, and as of yesterday, DeSantis signed the bill. So July 1st, our local airport here, Palm Beach International, is now going to be Donald J. Trump International Airport.
Which my favorite part is watching everyone melt down. Like there's some major. I mean, you guys saw these No Kings protests, right? At least what they showed us of these pro king or No Kings protests.
I think maybe I heard about it.
Dude,
Angela Bel Camino talked about it on Twitter. That's about all I remember.
Dave, do you want to say anything? Do you want to go into these? Because I think it leads in a direction that could probably take up the whole show.
Well, I'll just say this. It's been, I don't think it's my theory. I think it's been our theory amongst many others that we're the ones that are operating these things at this point. And Joe, I'll leave the symbolism side of it to you because I think there's something there. But there is a purpose to this. We've been showing how, look, go back to the beginning of 2025, and all 2025 was all about Doge and exposing USAID and the NGOs. By the way, you're going to hear a little bit more about USAID in this episode as well, so remember that. And then we had the No Kings that kicked off in June, and immediately after that, like, remember the day after? Like, the day after, we had a complete breakdown of the Soros Foundation, Arabella Advisors, the Buffett Foundation, and you pummel the news with, this is not organic, this is not organic, this is not organic. Well, repeats are necessary. They did it again. And we showed that clip on Saturday of that comedian doing, like, trolling them. But what we were pointing out is that there was no one there. And then wouldn't you know it, you get things like this. We don't need the sound, but people started to figure out that what the Krasentine and Sessions and all these guys that were doing, we started getting these big videos. Oh my God, look at the crowds. And wouldn't you know, as it turns out, they were showing recycled footage. Right. So we started looking around and people started figuring out that for the most part, nobody showed up to these things. So then you say to yourself, okay, well, why are we still doing it? Well, it goes back to this. You have big accounts like this, like Wall Street Apes. This is why we have never-ending protests in America. White House released names funding protests and violence in America. We pay for our own protests with over 100 million laundered by Democrats. We found a network of NGOs, George Soros, the Open Society Network, Arabella Funding, the Tides Funding Foundation, Neville Royce Singham and his network, on and on and on. So, and I just have on the right there, those are our friends from largely a lot of those people from that Mar-a-Lago event. That was the Antifa roundtable that Trump had back on October 8th. And it was all those same people that were sitting next to us at the table at Mar-a-Lago, not the least of which was none other than Nick Shirley. And what they were talking about was exactly this. So to me, that's why I don't really care when the No King stuff pops up, because it's less and less people every time. And each time they do it, in my opinion, they're educating more and more people on the fact that not just this stuff, not just the Trump stuff, going back to the days of Roe versus Wade, that all of these mass protests that have been used against us to make us believe that we're in the minority are not the least bit organic. They're all funded. So that's what I see out of this.
I'm just going to make my statement now. Okay. I'll probably repeat it after I show a few clips. You guys know how I think. I think on a mass psychological standpoint. When you bring up the king thing, of course I go right to the UK. Right? There's an actual royal family, some of which are tied up in this Epstein bullshit. Okay? How is it that you completely get everyone on the planet to think king, queen, whatever, royal? I would say maybe you send the president to Graceland and you talk about the king of rock and roll.
Nailed it.
I think maybe you drop a documentary about the king of pop somewhere in the middle of April.
Michael Jackson.
Right. I think that you invite the king and the queen to come talk in April at the White House.
The king.
Yeah,
rather. Queen.
Yeah. I think that you have no king's protests over and over and over, leading into, this thing we were told multiple times that this thing would be biblical. Well, we're going into Easter, the King of Kings. I mean, how many times do they have to narrative seed the idea of king? And not only that, but now we're getting all types of chess references, which I'm stating this too early. I'm going to bring the sauce. We're all going to three of us are going to show the clips and the things that lead up to this whole thing. I think that this is all about the financial system. I think this is about what was going on in the UK and over at the Vatican and with our own Fed. Donald Trump's now signing dollar bills, $100 bills rather. I don't think that this no kings messaging is for naught. They're doing this on purpose. This is to sway the seagrass on every level. There's no way there's this much messaging and there isn't a point when it comes to society. When it comes, this could quite possibly be the greatest boomerang if you are to simply focus on the No Kings protests. I'm watching interviews where they're going out and talking to these libtards. Sorry, I mean no offense. And they're asking him, like, what has Donald Trump done as a king? Well, he's a fascist, and he wants to stay Trump 2028 hats. And they're like, okay, so what do we do about it? Well, we impeach him. Well, that would insinuate there's a Congress, which means he's not a king. You dumbass. Right? So,
Yeah.
so what are we getting? If we're living in a state, if we can all agree there's a state of fifth generation warfare, information war, psy war going on, then start to connect the dots. There's no way they're not lambasting us with the king after king after king dots. There's something more to this. There just is. Right? Let's watch. I grabbed just a couple clips of the No Kings protests, and we'll get further and further into this. Take a look at this one.
This group touch our elbows, hands in the air.
Touch our what? What was that? All right. Well, that was DC. Well, I drove past some of the No Kings foolishness in Sonoma County, California this weekend. They're there and across the country. It seemed like kind of a lame talent show for the old hippie set.
I want to introduce you to the Raging Grannies from Austin. They're going to be performing for us. And so, Grannies, take it away.
We are resistance grannies. Tearing off their panties. You can't scare us. We're sticking together. We're sticking together forever and ever.
Of course, the nomenclature of the anti-Trump rallies is kind of ironic. Like, what does it even mean? There were all these signs about protecting democracy and got to save our elections. So are they saying that Donald Trump really isn't president and he merely, installed himself as an unelected ruler? Are they questioning the outcome of the 2024 election? Because under their own rules, that would be anti-democratic, correct? But the truth is the Trump protesters are the frauds here. The Trump supporters are the ones who insist on free and fair elections because we believe that only citizens should be allowed to vote. And we're against unrepresentative gerrymandering. We think voters, not unelected judges, should be empowered to determine policy. But today's Democrat Party, oh, come on. They're the most anti-democratic force in the United States. They oppose mandatory voter ID. They want extended voting long past Election Day. Of course, this just undermines both the integrity and outcome of the election. The public's faith in the electoral process shattered along the way. So they're not defenders of democracy. They're its destroyers. Democrats will always, and I mean always, prefer that a permanent, unelected bureaucracy decides all the key matters of public policy. Things like what your kids are taught in school, what rules apply to illegals, whether girls' sports are meant for girls only. Now, there's a reason our movement is called populism. We actually want the people to decide. Look, if push came to shove, the globalist socialist coalition that rallied over the weekend, they'd much prefer to be living under the UN or the EU, or frankly, I think they'd rather live under President Xi than live under President Trump.
There is only one solution. There is only one solution. Communist revolution.
Yeah, communist flags. What? Recent history shows us that Democrats love tyrannical rule as long as they're the ones ordering everyone around. Now think about the dictatorial COVID policies of Newsom, of Whitmer, of Pritzker that destroyed schools, destroyed businesses, and hurt churches in our Democrat-run cities. And who are they all kidding? We all saw them on bended knee like subjects before the monarch. Back in 2020, they were literally prostrating themselves before Black Lives Matter after George Floyd's death. It was performative then, and it's performative now, which perfectly sums up the Democrat Party. All stunts, no solutions. No policies, certainly no policies that will make your life better, that will help grow the economy or keep our streets safer. It's only retribution and punishment for the American people. And of course, a push to dismantle our American tradition. And that's the overriding goal of one of the main groups behind No Kings. According to Fox Digital, the group Indivisible, funded in part by socialist billionaire George Soros, was on the permit for the Minnesota flagship march, and a web of other radical Marxist and communist groups funded by Neville Roy Singham, they're also involved. Now remember, Singham is a communist himself who abandoned America to live in China. What could go wrong? So, of course, the flags and the banners at the New York rally, they make a lot more sense. You know, they're commie banners. No kings allowed, but yeah, commie dictators, welcome? How does any of this make any sense? Although overwhelmingly, most of the weekend's No Kings rallies were peaceful. That's nice. The anti-ICE nutbags, though, they got into the mix in L.A. with this message of love and understanding. Yeah. Glad the Angle team had already left L.A. by then, the city of angels where tear gas is akin to their dinner bell. Time to go home, kids. It's so sad.
I'm done with that.
I was actually really enjoying Fox News for the first time because somehow cringe has become like an art form. And those late Gen X lefty white ladies represent the heart and soul of Antifa now. And that means Antifa's they're not being funded. They're just screwed. And the only people that they're getting out there are old professor types who spent too much time on college campuses. And they're probably all white.
They're setting up the greatest boomerang ever. Dave, what are your thoughts, dude?
I don't know why anyone gets upset by this stuff. There's nothing real about this. Like, the point they're trying to drill home to everybody, and we will get there. I don't know how long it's going to take, but these protests are not real. All right. Sure. There's going to be, like, am I going to get upset that in a group of, there's, 150 people standing in a park doing this, and I'm sitting there looking at it going, 110 of them are paid, and they're probably paid by 4POG. So what am I going to lose my mind over 40 people in a city of 8 million? Like, why? And she hit on, this is what I find brilliant about the way they do this stuff, like the patterns of this. That's what Fox does, right? Matrix Codebreaker is over the target by doing a show every day showing Fox comms, because Fox is literally, it's literally the mouthpiece on television for this psyop. So what you do is you go on social media and you start picking out all the things that, like I was talking about just before. That's the perfect clip to have played, Joe, because what is she hitting on? The funding. Well, we just talked about that.
Yep.
Performative. She's telling you it's a performance. They always inject a cringe thing, like the singing and the frog outfits to make it absurd. They do that so that common sense people will go, I don't like Trump, but that's stupid. I posted the other day, everyone was flipping out about the communist flags. I was like, stop and think, who gave them the communist flags? You think that came from the bad side? Is that how they do it? They walk down Main Street going, we're communists? No, we gave them the flags. And so it's just pattern recognition. That's what this is all about. It's just complete absurdity top to bottom. But as much as we may laugh at it, there's a purpose, because like I said, I always try to focus on what is the education, what is the educational piece of the PSYOP, and there's a very clear one here, and it's the funding.
Kara Maureen brought up a good point, and I actually agree with it. Trump's signature looks like a king's crown.
It's the weirdest signature ever, by the way. Yeah, it's just like, yeah. Man.
Look, you know,
freaking lit.
Do you remember last week when CNN did a MAGA poll and they said 100% of MAGA had Trump's back?
Oh, but by definition, they're not MAGA. Trump and MAGA are the same damn thing.
Right. Well, it's funny that during these No Kings protests, this is the report we got.
Take a look here. Take a look at Donald Trump's overall net approval rating. This is the lowest of his term, the lowest of his second term. We're talking about minus 17 points, 17 points underwater. And unlike in Donald Trump's first term, in which he was negative basically throughout his entire term, Trump actually started off in positive territory here in his second term. But now he's at the lowest point of his second term. But there's an even bigger comparison to be made, okay? So obviously Trump was elected once back in 2016, then he took a 4-year break, and then, of course, he's serving his second term, and it's his second presidency. So I went back and I looked at all of the presidents at this point in a presidency, all of them at this point in a presidency, and guess what? Donald Trump is the lowest ever at this point in a presidency, lower than Joe Biden, lower than Jimmy Carter, lower than Ronald Reagan. He's lower than all of them at this point in a presidency. You know, you can make any sort of swimming comparison you want. Maybe you want to make a comparison with a diver like Greg Louganis. Maybe you want to make a swimming comparison, Michael Phelps. Maybe if you're me, like an old Jewish soul, you want to make a comparison with Mark Spitz. Either way, he is very much.
Anybody feel a boomerang coming?
I think that guy's kind of anti-Semitic now.
Exactly.
Now we were at 100. Now we're down negative 17.
Did he just say that Donald Trump's approval is lower than any president in history
at this point? Whatever.
That's
so whatever it is, 14.
Yeah,
that's the point. The four pogs sitting there putting the 17 there and going, it's not real. Everyone calm the F down.
Not real. This is fake. It's just like the 100%. By the way, the 100% was also fake.
Yeah, you can't get 100% of anything.
No. I mean, it's like Trump saying that we've had 0 border crossings.
I mean, look, 58-42, right? That's 16 points underwater, right?
Yeah.
You don't think a president has ever been to 42 or below 42 at this point in his presidency? Go to 59-41. Bam, you're at minus 19. That is, people speak, that shit happens all the time. Anyway, that was retarded, and that guy said all that with a straight face, which was really weird.
Well, and a couple of people in the chat said, yeah, but the war isn't popular. Well, it's not supposed to be popular. That's where the Israel side comes in. We'll get to that later. And the point is, yeah, okay. It's today.
I'm starting to see people. I'm starting to see people say what I said in the beginning of this Iran thing, that it was really aimed at Israel. I'm starting to see people on X question and ask that, is this a proxy for us actually fighting against Israel? And I said that from the gate.
Dude, that's what we've been showing for the last 2 weeks. That's what the point of the Joe Kent psyop. That's the point of Tucker Carlson's documentary coming out. That's the point of all of it. If it was popular, that side of it wouldn't work. You can't have it both ways. You have to let gas prices come up because that's the only way people will pay attention. And you have to have an unpopular war. If we had 98% support on this war and you got all these people out there going, but Israel's making us do it, how is that a good thing for waking people up? It's not. It has to be unpopular.
It's very true.
It's just killing me. It's cracking me up that because society just has no clue that they're being swayed like seagrass.
Well,
They just have no idea.
Somebody else, a couple of people in the chat said, yeah, but people suck this up. They're supposed to suck it up.
That's the point.
Right? Like, don't judge it by what they're sucking up today. Think about 6 months from now or 3 months from now. That's how you have to look at this stuff. They're sucking it up today because they're being set up to be taught something down the road. They're supposed to suck it up. They want, when they put out, let me just say this very quickly. Going back to what we've been trying to drill home, when they put out a Joe Kent or a Tucker Carlson and they're seemingly going against Trump, you can't get upset that people are losing faith in Trump because they're being directed down a road to run into an Israel red pill. And after they hit that Israel red pill, the white hats know they'll be able to steer them back towards the truth of Trump. So don't worry about what they think today. That's what the military is doing. They don't care if they're losing people today. They're saying, all right, we're going to lose them today. We're going to teach them a lesson about Israel. And then a month or two later, we'll bring them back to center. That's the way they do this stuff. Doesn't matter what they suck up today.
Yeah, and you know what? Anyone that's feeling that way, right? First of all, acknowledge, how does it make you feel? That's the point. That's what fifth generation warfare is. That's what information war is. You get swayed by your emotions, right? That's why we do the whole protect your mind and control your emotions thing. We're going to get into more here where it's basically been admitted out loud multiple times over and over, as a matter of fact, that Donald Trump is playing multi-dimensional chess, right? The king stuff is not just a reference to royalty. It's also a reference to the chessboard, right? King, queen, pawns, knights, kings, etc. Rooks, rather. Didn't mean to say king twice. And I think that we're being shown that that's what's going on right now. I'm going to play one more of the No Kings rally, and then we'll get into that.
Digital has a follow the money investigation, and David Spunt has looked at that. He's with us now. David, what you find out? Good morning to you.
Bill, good morning. Big crowds over the weekend in big cities. Fox News digital investigative reporter Azra Nomani uncovered a network of some 500 groups with nearly $3 billion in revenue. She personally went to a protest in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, she says that there she obtained a copy of the permit for the march in St. Paul, and the lead coordinator for the protest was a group called Indivisible, a Democratic political advocacy group funded by George Soros's networks. Now, we reached out to Indivisible for comment, but have yet to hear back. Meanwhile, No Kings, the larger group in many different cities across the country, in a statement posted online, quote, Trump wants to rule over us as a tyrant, but this is America and power belongs to the people, not to wannabe kings or their billionaire cronies. Nomani, however, says her investigation sees quite the opposite. Now, in Los Angeles, scores of agitators clashed with police outside the federal building there. Witnesses saw someone spray, quote, kill your local ICE agent on the wall there. The Fox digital probe also found it connected to a wealthy American living in China named Neville Roy Singham. Listen to Azra.
They want to call it grassroots. It's 100% AstroTurf. There are well-intentioned people that you walked among who came out, but the command and control was from these 500 groups with, get this, a $3 billion budget.
Now, Singham has been under investigation by the Republican-led House Oversight Committee led by Chairman James Comer. Now, he's asked DOJ to look into the organization, though it's specifically unclear whether any investigation stands on that specific case involving Mr. Singham. Bill, Dana.
That's a lot of money. David, thank you, sir. We will watch that. David Spunt with that investigation.
Think that through. These guys are protesting themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was like one of the first Q drops, like in the first dozen? How many times does it say follow the money?
Right.
Then they told you in what, 2020, that Antifa, which is an extension of this whole thing, was mapped a long time ago. So Q has told you this entire network that you're looking at playing out on your television, and I literally, and that Laura Ingraham is calling performative. They're telling you it's a performance to show people what was mapped out years ago. And it just goes back to, I know people don't like it. I get it by now. I get all the emails and the messages. I understand. But the bottom line is you can't go, and especially this stuff, right? Because it's not, nobody knows who Arabella Advisors is or any of these organizations. This is a lot of those 600,000 sealed indictments. You can't go and round up 200 people. Imagine if a year ago, before any of this NGO stuff came out, imagine if Trump started arresting the heads of NGOs. That would have given absolute ammunition for everyone to go, these are philanthropists. They're the people that are good for our world. You can't do it. You have to expose it first, and it takes time. You have to introduce the name, make it somewhat common nomenclature to some group, at least some kind of critical mass, whatever it is, of the population, and then you can do it. And this is the way they've chosen to do it.
Bro, we're also getting this in waves. Repeats are necessary, not on a current timeline. I don't know how many people remember the No Cop City. I believe that was Minnesota. Can't remember exactly. I'm going off the top of my head. I believe it was Minnesota, No Cop City, where they literally mapped and reported thousands of people donating to Antifa. People living in the woods that were trying to shut
up there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thousands of people were donating.
And the person would say, well, I'm in favor of that candidate. But I don't think it was me. It's like they've donated 90 times. No, wasn't me. But maybe it was me. I don't know. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Okay, get out of my door. Get out of my house. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, the only other thing I'm going to say is this: if you go back to 2020, I would argue probably most people in this audience remember that it was the Anons and the truthers of the world that were looking at the Antifa protests and going, wait, look at the buses, look at the new signs they have, look at they're all wearing the same thing, look at the pallets of bricks, right? That was a very real thing that happened. And how much traction did it get amongst the masses? Zero. Now look at 2026 and look what is playing out and is about to play out, and you'll see a stark difference. In my opinion, that only happens through a successful fifth generation warfare campaign.
I think we're throwing these protests straight up. I'll just say it out loud.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. By the way, I think that we threw the ones in 17, and I think we threw the ones in 20 as well.
Ghost in the machine.
The ones in 17 were designed to wake my ass up. The ones in 20 were designed to wake up those who ended up joining us for 2021. Yep. And the ones that they're trying to wake up now are the stragglers. And it's the same concept every time. Different levels of vomit-inducing absurdity.
Yep. When they started adding inflatable Pepe the Frogs, I was like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. This is the good guys.
Yep. Remember, we had those in 2017. Big story. George Soros takes a cajillion million super duper Soros bucks and puts them in a big old NGO. And he's just so nefarious. And he's the cause of all of this. My first reaction was when I heard that George Soros was hiring people to just terrorize United States cities like some kind of demented DC Comics supervillain, was just arrest him. He's a shriveled old dirtbag living in a giant house somewhere. You know where he is. Go get him. But they wouldn't. Why? Well, I think because they needed enough people to say, yeah, you have to get him. Sorry. And
because it's a lot bigger than that. And because it's a lot bigger than that.
Yes, way bigger.
But you need that entry level for society to start to grasp that there's going to be something bigger than that.
Yep.
Right. And would people even be able to wrap their heads around the key theme that's being drilled home through all this is that it's your tax dollars that are paying for this. And again, go back to 2024, before we deployed the whole Doge US aid thing. Would people have understood that before we did that? No, they wouldn't have.
Of course not. Hey, let me break in for just a second. We're getting rated from all over the place, which is really cool. Thank you from across the movement for the support. NPC Show rated us over on Pilled, and the Outlaw Dogs rated us over on Rumble, both right around the same time there. Thank you guys very much for that. Hit the thumbs up, take the red pill, hit the heart, drop a comment, share the show. That is the best way to grow not only this platform, but anybody's platform that you guys enjoy. Always hit that positive affirmation button. So Thank you for that, Dave. We can go in 9 directions from here. I see you got some stuff pulled up down bottom. Do you want to hit that first?
I don't know what you have next. So the only other thing I was going to add, just to your point, I'm not going to read through this again, but if you didn't watch our show on Saturday, as per usual, a lot of this is a continuation of it. Like, this is the slide we showed. Joe made the key point. All the Kings theming, Graceland, everything you went through. I'm with you. At the end of the day, it's all about. That's why I thought this post that Jeff did that we went through on Saturday was so important. At the end of the day, this is about the financial system. At the end of this, he was talking about at Bretton Woods in 1944. America told Britain the dollar was the world's reserve currency. Britain's king came to Washington and agreed. In 2026, America is rebuilding a system from that ground up. Britain's king is flying over to watch. Spot on. Actually, Joe, I'll throw this into the mix. It's kind of a throwaway, but it's just something worth noting. There's a gentleman that not enough people talk about. His name is Michael Solikiewicz, and he's got. If you guys ever see me posting videos of Donald Trump over the weekend at Mar-a-Lago, it's always from his account. Now, this dude is not officially attached to Trump, as far as anybody can tell, but he's with him everywhere. Air Force One, the White House, everything. He's always next to him. So I don't know what it's probably 60K Army. I don't know what it is. But he posted this. I noticed this on Sunday, and look at the caption. The caption is the MAGA King and Queen, and listen to the music. Coming into the King of Pop. More King symbolism.
For anybody that watched Melania, the movie, she straight up, I remember I was watching and somebody asked her, who's your favorite artist? And I went, MJ. And she said, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, the King of Pop. Playing in the background was Michael Jackson's Billie Jean.
Yep.
For those of you who were confused.
Right. And not to be repetitious, but my man just went to Graceland to see the King of Rock and Roll. Not to be repetitious, but we're going into Easter, the King of Kings. No King's protests. Think this stuff through, friends. We're being
King. So when you see the calm, you say, good. It's easy to recognize the calm when Joe Rambo and Dave NewsTreason explain it to you. What do you think the calm is trying to point to in particular?
I believe it's the boomerang. Right? Donald Trump is not a king. What they're doing is replacing that royal mindset where there was and were kings that were ruling this country. I believe that there's a huge boomerang coming. I don't know if Dave, you want to speak to that.
That, and like I just said, I think it's symbolic of us getting extremely close to the formal look. Think about Trump signing the currency. Think about what we showed about the Fed on Saturday. Think about Donald Trump kicking the City of London and Lloyd's of London out of the Strait of Hormuz after 339 years. His moves with the Donroe Doctrine in the Western Hemisphere. I think it's all about symbolic of us breaking from that quote unquote royal City of London financial system.
Agreed. I do think there's a secondary message here, Patrick, and that's the chess game that Donald Trump's playing.
Okay.
I mentioned it here just a little bit earlier. Here, I'll throw Dave, if you want to pull up that one from currently next. Here's one from it's about 2 years ago. I don't know the exact date, but Donald Trump came right out and said this.
I think the really ones that have respected us over the years, the ones that really think like America, they're smart. I'll tell you what, they respected us 2 years ago. They respected us like they never respected us. There was no games. Ukraine would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened. Energy prices would have never happened like they are. But they respected our nation. All of these things that we're looking at were self-made. They were unnecessary to happen. And what's going on now is so sad. But the other leaders, they think that we're playing because they respected us for so many years, but especially in the last 4 or 5 years prior to this disaster happening, and they think we're playing four-dimensional chess. Does that make sense? They say, there's no way this is happening. That country is too smart. It's four-dimensional. President Xi probably has a meeting and he says, wait a minute, this can't be possible. They're too smart for that. It's four-dimensional chess. Does anyone know what that means? I know what that means. You know what it means? They can't believe what the hell is going on with our country.
My man just admitted that Joe Biden was never president. Like, let's just be honest for a second. He just admitted they're making chess moves and playing multi-dimensional chess. Just said it to the world in that clip. And now we're getting waves of it. Dave, do you want to play the current one? Just said this within the last, 2 days?
I think this was last week, late last week.
I don't understand to a large, it's a big chess game at a very high level. It's a very high level chess, the highest. And I'm dealing with very smart players. These are smart people. They don't get there. You know, when you deal with some of these people, you're dealing with high level intellect, very high IQ people. These are not Jasmine Crockett and her group. These are smart people. These are really smart people and violent people and vicious people and some very nice people. And some are very nice but violent. They turn violent. But you know what? If I didn't do what I did, we would have been hit. Number one, very important, was the termination of Obama's horrible deal. And number two, this beautiful plane hitting them 8 months ago, whatever it was, and taking out their nuclear capacity. That totally threw them for a loop. If they had that bomb at either time, 5 years ago or 7 months ago, if they had that bomb would have been used almost immediately.
8 months ago, B-2 bomber, 88022, two 88-foot flags. I mean, we can go on with the 8s and the 2s. It's ridiculous. My man's talking about chess for years now. The Joe Biden administration was a complete umbrella for what was truly going on beneath the scenes. I can't see it any other way at this point. Donald Trump has told us over and freaking over. And, I mean, let's bring it back to Q. Patrick, read 4281.
Q drop number 4,281 of May 19th, 2020. How about a nice game of chess? Chessworld.com. And then, of course, chess strategy. What do you need to know about strategy and tactics? Objective, end. Checkmate, king. Do you attack the king at the beginning of the game? Do you attack and remove pawns first? Do you attack and remove bishops, rooks, knights next? Do you attack and remove queen mid to end? Is the game being played public or private? Do emotions affect critical thinking? Add important king control pieces, eliminate rogue elements, add how do you set the stage, board, public opinion, optics at this time. Q.
When was the queen removed? About 3.5 years ago. September 8th, 2022.
9/8 and 17.
Yep.
Damn.
Now and now you have all this stuff.
B-2 bomber.
Yeah, and I think there's multiple meanings in that drop when he's talking about the king and the strategy of working your way up the ladder. I think you could apply that to a lot of things. But I think as we sit here now and all the stuff we've been talking about with the financial system, objective, remove the king. Remove the king of the financial system. That's the end of it. That's what I see out of that.
Wow. Okay. So what do you think Q means by at this time?
Put that back up, Joe, if you could.
How do you set the stage? Board, public opinion, optics at this time in quotes.
I'm not sure. My only guess might be that was something that was relevant that somebody said around that date back in 2020, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I know there's more stuff going on at this time. Stormy Patriot Joe grabbed this clip. Take a look.
The Iranians do have thousands of drones still. They still have 100 of missiles, and those can sometimes get through air defenses, although the air defenses have been 90% effective. Zelensky's going to backfill some of those defensive systems. That's great. But here's the deal. Once you take Karg, it takes their queen off the chessboard, and then you can really negotiate from a much stronger position. The next...
Shit. Okay. That's a calm.
Right.
When
Okay.
exactly did that report come out?
That was yesterday, I believe. Or sorry, Friday night.
Okay.
That was Friday night, Jesse.
And now we've got just machine gun.
It might have been last night, Jesse. I'm sorry. It's a Stormy. I grabbed it from Stormy Joe's.
Okay, so this is everything we're seeing is a direct reference to the Q drop, explaining about Queen mid to end. And then it's just like Trump's communications network is getting Tourette's, just going king, 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 king. By the way, king. Okay.
Do you really want your mind blown? Me and Dave are on the same wavelength. I can already
I
see.
am always in favor of having things.
All right. Here, I want to show you something. This is the post that we read, right? The drop number is 4281. All right. I'm going to take this down. Go ahead, Dave.
Patrick, I think you should just read through this whole thing.
Why not? So
actually, do me a favor. Start with Trump's truth.
Yeah.
Big fat shout out to Ripcord.
Big shout out, the Ripcord on X. Donald J. Trump on Truth Social. Melania and I are pleased to announce that Their Majesties, the King and Queen of the United Kingdom, will visit the United States for a historic state visit from April 27th to the 30th, which will include a beautiful banquet dinner at the White House on the evening of April 28th. This momentous occasion will be even more special this year as we commemorate the 250th anniversary of our great country. I look forward to spending time with the King, whom I greatly respect. It will be terrific. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, March 31st, 2026, 8:21 a.m.
So,
who's the Queen? I guess he means the King's wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what Ripcord is coming up with here, and you could argue it's a little stretchy, but then there's something else that kind of backs it up. What he's connecting is drop 4281. So he's going to April 28th, and he's pulling the 428 out of the drop number. It's a little stretchy, but it's that exact same drop that Joe was just showing you.
Yep.
Right? Do you attack the king at the beginning of the game? But then just to see, I went to April 28th because he's highlighting the 28th, and I wanted to see if there was anything in April 28th that would back that up. And sure enough, on April 28th, you get, shall we play a game?
We play a game.
Now it's not so now it's not so stretchy anymore.
Now look at that freaking your move shit. That's chess.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, now what is that notation? 11-9BD23. That looks like a code, and that's an anon posting.
Anon posting.
What does that mean?
Could have been anybody. I don't know.
Fascinating. Your move.
Hold
that's
on.
Chess.
That might be chess.
No. The notation is not any kind of chess notation that I'm aware of. It's not algebraic notation. It's not descriptive notation. It's not even coordinate notation. I have never seen any kind of chess notation that looks like that.
11-9BD-23.
Wow.
That is... Nope, I can't find anything.
I'm not finding anything either.
Those could have been, it could have been a military comm. Who knows?
Right? Okay. Well, in any event, that is really, really wild, guys. That April 28th points directly to an April. So is it that the drop was 428, or was it that the drop took place on April 28th?
The drop
was 4281.
But you just pointed to another drop that said your move. Which drop was that?
Yeah, this is why I'm showing it, right? Because you could make the argument that it's not 428, it's dropped 4281. It's just hidden by his brackets.
Yeah.
So But then when you go here and you find that the actual Delta on the 28th is shall we play a game, that gives more credence, a lot more credence to what Ripcord is insinuating there.
Yeah.
I think Ripcord made an amazing connection. And then with Dave's add-on.
You know something else? That Anon was up to something too. Why was Q saying your move? And why was that Anon saying your move to Q? I'm just throwing this out there. Is there any chance that that was a special Anon that Q knows? And if so, is it a good Anon or is it a bad Anon?
Great question.
I mean, I don't say, are you confused to people that I'm best buddies with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, without having known exactly what was going on this day, it certainly looks like that. That was probably somebody on the boards that wasn't a good actor.
Yeah, this would be a great time to have like a Dr. Craig or Joe on here. I don't know the answer to that either.
Pretty cool though.
I do know that as we're getting all of this no kings, king messaging, chess messaging, we're going into April. And with April comes April Fool's Day. Donald Trump's talked about April Fool's Day ad nauseum. Okay, so let's touch on that real quick just to give a refresher.
But I think of the United States, every day is April Fool's Day. And they said, sir, what do you mean by that? I don't like the sound of that. I said, well, listen to this. And I just gave a couple of ideas. We have open borders when they should be closed. It's April Fool's Day. We have prisoners, people from, as we just said, mental institutions and terrorists being dumped into our country when they should not be accepted. April Fool's Day, right? Who would do that? Who would do this? Who would allow prisoners in? He goes, Biden. He said, Brandon. You're both right.
My man's admitting that there's tricks going on.
Oh yeah.
He's playing games. That it's multi-dimensional chess.
And that he is that the real Trump or is that the short fat Trump? Which Trump are we even looking at? Because there's more than one Trump, and there might be 10 of them. For all I know, their hands are different sizes. It's all freaking fake.
There's a double confirmation in there to what Joe's showing you. He's sitting there saying April Fools, April Fools, April Fools, and it happens to be at exactly 1:07 p.m. on the clock while he's saying that.
I forgot that part. Yep. Yeah, 1:07. As he's letting you know what's going on.
That's probably just a coincidence.
It's not the only time. It's not the only time. He's done it many. I could show you 10 of them. I only pulled up 2 just to make the point.
Crooked Joe Biden, and frankly, his boss, Barack Hussein Obama. I think it's his boss. Crooked Joe puts China first. He puts Mexico first, Ukraine first, Europe first, Asia first, illegal aliens first, environmental lunatics and maniacs first. These are maniacs, these people. I don't know if they really believe it or is it just something to hurt our country. But everyone else is first. But he puts America last. He puts our workers last. He puts our industries last. He puts your families last. He puts everybody last. Everything that's good he puts last. It's actually reversed. I say it's a lot of times it's like April Fool's Day. Open border. Who wants an open border? Only stupid people. Who wants not to have voter ID? Voter ID. We will not have voter ID. You know, for their convention, the Democrat convention, they had a voter ID that was the size of this. See this? It's like this. It hung with a chain around their neck. There was a picture. I think it had every bit of information ever. You could read their biography, know everything about the person.
Did you realize what that is?
No.
That's the second comm he threw in there.
Damn.
Do you understand what he just did? I might have to play this again.
Wait, before you play it again, I never noticed this before. So the first April Fool's was at 1:07 p.m.
Correct.
The second April Fool's you just pulled up was 10, 9, 23. Drop all the zeros. 1 + 9 + 2 + 2 + 3, 17.
Okay. And then he talks about ID. This was during Joe Biden's administration, right? And he says they wanted ID. And he pulls up his binder and holds it up as if it's identification. And it has the presidential seal and it says the president on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't the only time he did it. He did it 3 times.
Okay, but play it again so we can.
So watch again. So he talks about the April Fool's thing, and then he talks about identification and the Democrats wanting or not wanting identification, but they use it for their whatever the hell they use it for. And then he holds up his binder as if it's identification to his chest, and it shows you the presidential seal, and in the bottom corner of that binder says the president.
Crooked Joe Biden, and frankly his boss, Barack Hussein Obama. I think it's his boss. Crooked Joe puts China first. He puts Mexico first, Ukraine first, Europe first, Asia first, illegal aliens first, environmental lunatics and maniacs first. These are maniacs, these people. I don't know if they really believe it, or is it just something to hurt our country? But everyone else is first. But he puts America last. He puts our workers last. He puts our industries last. He puts your families last. He puts everybody last. Everything that's good he puts last. It's actually reversed. I say it's a lot of times it's like April Fool's Day. Open border. Who wants an open border? Only stupid people. Who wants not to have voter ID? Voter ID. We will not have voter ID. You know, for their convention, the Democrat convention, they had a voter ID that was the size of this. See this? It's like this. It hung with a chain around their neck. It was a picture. I think it had every bit of information ever. You could read their biography, know everything about the person. They couldn't get into the convention without it. But to go to vote, we don't want voter ID. Actually, the Democrats want it. It's the leadership that does it. And the reason they don't want it, Carolyn, is because they want to cheat. And it's very simple. There's only one reason. I put America first every single time. And since Joe Biden took office, cumulative inflation has reached nearly a 20% number. It's a number that nobody's ever, I don't think they've seen it maybe ever or close to ever.
Joe, Patrick, before you go, I have an image. It's not the same speech. It's not the same speech. It's the same folio, just so people can see what Joe's talking about.
He did it 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the seal of the president. And in the yellow box, you can see it says the president.
Okay.
Right on the folio.
So let me put on my normie hat. Yeah, you idiots. He just kept it like a souvenir when he left.
That's funny.
Thank you.
He did it repeatedly. He didn't keep it as a souvenir. He was still the freaking Joe Biden was not president.
Joe, do you remember the normie explanation he gave you? He pretended like the teleprompters went out. He goes, "I guess I'm going to have to use this," and so he called it out that he was purposely using this speech.
Yeah. And by the way, this is while he was campaigning all the way through Joe Biden's administration.
Correct.
Has anyone ever seen that before?
Damn, I don't think so. Now we don't have any like precedents for a non-consecutive term president during the television era. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it only James Garfield or possibly Grover Cleveland who had non-consecutive terms?
Yeah. Well, there was one 4-term. Who was that one 4-term president?
FDR.
Yeah.
But his were all consecutive.
And Trump's going to be the second 4-term president. I'm convinced. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm completely convinced those Trump 2028 hats are not a troll. I think
he must be really into being president then, because
I think
it sounds like a shit gig to me.
I think he's going to be the first president of a reborn America.
Okay. I like the sound of that.
And so constitutional law that would lead everyone to believe that it's not possible will be rewritten or restarted in some way, shape, or form is where my head's at. I don't think the Trump literally Eric just put a post out wearing another Trump 2028 hat. They're not kidding. They're narrative seeding. You can't troll a media you're in control of.
Look,
Do you
Patrick, this goes back to the original work that you did and work with people like Derek Johnson and all the people that have been identifying devolution / continuity of government. If that's the case, then the argument could be made that we haven't had a president. We've had a commander in chief.
Right. We haven't even gotten to the end of that phase yet. We're still in D class.
Right.
God, what a great time.
Well, and you know what? If we're going into April, we got to acknowledge this, okay? A lot of you out there are going to know exactly what we're talking about, but some of the new people, this needs to be revisited. Everybody remembers the famous chart as he got shot in the ear that he was holding up. It was pointing to, rather, was this chart.
Bam! April 1st.
What the hell does this mean? Trump leaves office. Lowest illegal immigration in recorded history. Trump leaves office April 1st of 2020.
Literally impossible in the standard paradigm. Did Trump leave office on April 1st, 2020? How?
Well, Joe, if you're going to show that, it's also important to remind people of what happened just 4 days before that. If you wouldn't mind pulling that down for 1 second.
Yes. Yeah.
Or I could do it. I got you. March 27th of 2020. That was the same day or within 1 day of the unsealing of the indictment for Nicolas Maduro that we were told played out on your television this year. March 27, 2020, Executive Order 13912, authority to order selective reserve and certain members of individual ready reserve of the armed forces to active duty up to 1 million troops. Somehow forgot to rescind that executive order too. That was kind of interesting. But anyhow,
what was the date of that executive order? March 27th.
Right there, March 27, 2020. That's the same day.
5 days before he supposedly left office, according to the chart that saved his life.
Right. So that, when I think we talked about about this a little bit on Saturday night in terms of like COVID being a cover story. Oh, I know what it was, Joe. On open, I think it was on Open Lines. That Australian woman called in and she was asking about the concept of us being locked in our houses again so the military could do operations. And our answer was, you already lived through it. And if you just follow that timeline, it was a few weeks into COVID. Everyone was already beginning to get locked down or locked down. He writes out executive order, sends 1 million troops out there, in addition to whoever was out there doing stuff already. And then they have that press conference right around April 1st with Milley and all them. That wasn't about COVID. It was about sealing off the border. We had ships lining both coasts to protect the country. Like you add all that up. That's when I think it went down.
Wait, hold on. Okay. So if we're going to remind everybody that chart, we also have to look back historically. And another hat tip to the Absolute Storm team, because I was making a bunch of posts at the time about April Fools, every day in America being like April Fool's Day, Donald Trump telling everybody he played a trick on them. And the Absolute Storm team, Stormy Patriot Joe, Abs, and their less than 5, went and found a clip of General Milley on April 1st, 2020, the same date that chart says Donald Trump left office. And this right here is supposed to be a COVID presser. Okay, this is supposed to be about COVID and COVID alone. It is a April 1st, 2020 COVID presser. You tell me if this sounds like it's anything more than the opening of a military operation.
For those words, and thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership. And I want to publicly thank Admiral Craig Fowler, the commander of U.S. Southern Command out of Miami, for leading this operation, which is underway effective today, and also Admiral Gilday, the Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Schultz, for their contributions to this from their services. There's thousands of sailors, Coast Guardsmen, soldiers, airmen, Marines involved in this operation. We came upon some intelligence some time ago that the drug cartels, as a result of COVID-19, were going to try to take advantage of the situation and try to infiltrate additional drugs into our country. As we know, that 70,000 Americans die on an average annual basis to drugs. That's unacceptable. We're at war with COVID-19, we're at war with terrorists, and we are at war with the drug cartels as well. This is the United States military. You will not penetrate this country. You will not get past Jump Street. You're not going to come in here and kill additional Americans. And we will marshal whatever assets are required to prevent your entry into this country to kill Americans. So right now, the Navy has marshaled additional gray hull ships from both PACOM and EUCOM and for the Naval Fleet at Norfolk. And they are set sail already, and they are in the Caribbean right now. In addition to that, there's 10 Coast Guard cutters, and there's Special Operations Forces and Security Force Assistance Brigades, along with Air Force reconnaissance aircraft. The bottom line is you're not going to get through. Now is not the time to try to penetrate the United States with illegal drugs to kill Americans. With the United States military, we will defend our country regardless of the cost. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Secretary.
Does anybody still think we're blowing up cigarette boats and Venezuela in real time?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly, and it's so hard, Joe, sometimes because we just don't have the time in all the shows to show these clips every time. But if you guys think back to when the Venezuela stuff kicked off, and we're sitting there like they keep showing us. By the way, I'm just curious, when that happened, did Fox News show us exactly where all those ships were in the Caribbean? No, of course they didn't. But this time, but when Maduro kicked off, we got a day-by-day chessboard of where all our ships were. Further proof that what Joe is saying, I believe, is right. What you watched on your television in 2026 is what they were doing right after that.
Bro, did you see what Matrix Codebreaker found?
I mean, that's a loaded question.
Dude, he's the weirdest. He's the most lovable weirdo besides Patrick that I know.
And that's not all.
Patrick, would you read that?
I would. Matrix Codebreaker on Twitter. Holy crap! Today is the 27th anniversary for the Matrix movie release. Of course I know that. So I did a random calculation to today just to see where it would lead me. The first one I chose happened to hit a bomb with a Q for the O in bomb. The chart where Trump left office is said to be on April 1st, 2020. I did that day to today, March 31st, 2026. 3/31/2026. 2,190 days. It just so happens that drop number 2,190 is a drop that was a direct reference beforehand to the Butler fight, fight, fight pose. That's fact. I remember that drop. Drop 2190 of September 17th, 2018. Q, you were right all along. Emmys, red carpet kick. Where we go when we go all Anons picked the carpet bomb for you and you alone. Q.
What the hell?
Yeah, dude.
2,190 days leads you to exactly the drop where it's the fight, fight, fight. Today are you kidding me? And that's where he held up the famous chart where he left on April 1st.
Well, this means that because that is one hell of a coincidence.
No, that's brilliant artificial intelligence.
And I was just about to say artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
That's AI, bro.
Of course, it would have to be. Or, freaking Rain Man from hell.
Well, you have to be Rain Man Matrix Codebreaker to be able to even put that together.
Yes.
That blew my mind when I saw it this morning. I was like, what the hell? Matrix Codebreaker sometimes is a little too much for my head, right? He goes a little far. And then every once in a while, he drops a freaking bomb on you. And you go, my man is literally picking up on AI.
He suffers from autism. I don't suffer. I just have it.
Dude, that's crazy to me.
It's pretty crazy. It's my favorite Q drop, by the way. 2190 is one of the few that I remember by a 4-digit number.
Matrix Codebreaker, bro. I don't even know what to say. Like I need a second to
I got
that.
do you want to connect to another psyop that didn't happen?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Hang on. Here we go. Guess who's back?
Oh, yeah.
All of the proof that I have, the people that I have spoken to that were intimately involved in this case, I would willfully sit on the defense side and say, this person told me that the feds planted the gun. This person told me that the bomb dogs couldn't find it. How can you sit back and pretend that you are like a friend of Charlie Kirk because you're trying to get a patsy put into prison? Like, you guys are completely monstrous and pretending that you're on the side of morality. Like I said, I have recorded and documented every piece of this case. I have been meticulous about this. There is an overwhelming, they love to use that word, there was an overwhelming amount of evidence that the feds set this kid up as a patsy. Okay? Everyone in the town, all the local sheriff departments, the SWAT team, they believe that the feds came in and they started lying and they were sending people on wild goose chase and they, said the gun was here and they said it was over there. There was no gun. They didn't want the bomb dogs to go into certain places. Like I said.
Okay. Now,
bomb dogs.
For those of you who are sick of this narrative, hold on a second. What did we talk about last week? Joe Kent gets deployed. He didn't quit. He got deployed. And in addition to connecting Israel to Iran and a foreign entity to Butler, he also connected a foreign entity to the Charlie Kirk assassination. He also said that he would testify, just like Candace did. I don't know if it was in that clip, but she said it later on. Joe Kent said he would testify on behalf of the defense because he believed what? The FBI ignored evidence. So go back to when this happened. And what we were speculating is part of this PSYOP, repeats necessary, is to recreate a modern day PSYOP and show people how the FBI would cover up evidence and create a patsy a la JFK. You can't go back and say it happened 60 years ago. You have to show people now. So now that's exactly what she and he, who happened to be at an event with General Flynn when he couldn't come to our event, probably a coincidence, saying the exact same thing. At the same time, Fox News is in here this morning. I won't play the clip, Joe, for time purposes. And I saw some people in the chat talking about saying that the ballistics, the fragments that they found in Charlie Kirk didn't match the ballistics of the guns. Uh-oh. And now they asked for an extension on that. So that's happening in the news at the same time that Joe Kent is doing this and Candace Owens is doing that. And in case that's not enough for your appetite, also at the same time, she said, well, the feds came in and they started lying and the sheriffs don't believe it. Well, the sheriff that doesn't believe it just happened to resign yesterday.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Whoops. Washington County Sheriff resigns after more than 30 years in law enforcement. That doesn't draw attention to this PSYOP at all, guys, right?
Whoopsie.
Perfect timing.
Right.
By the way, he was involved directly in this other thing that we'd like you to recall right now.
These things all happen in like 3s and 4s. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's exactly what you see here. You know what? I know people get pissed off by the Charlie Kirk. So I love the Charlie Kirk PSYOP. It's actually my favorite one besides Biden because it's going to lead to so many amazing things.
Listening to Candace Owens say, well, they got this kid set up as a patsy. There's no freaking kid, Candace. What kind of truther is she anyway?
Wait a second. Who did Tyler Robinson look like? Like almost exactly.
Oh, just like that guy that shot JFK.
What did he say when he was being hauled out of the office in Dallas? I'm a patsy.
Oh, just like that's the same thing he said.
Yeah. Funny how that all works. It's like exactly how you would script it if none of this was real.
Exactly like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh yeah. Dude.
Oh my gosh! Pull up the pictures. Pull up the pictures. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Do you have it?
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna look it up.
Tyler Robinson, right?
Lee Harvey Oswald. Oswald versus.
Well, I mean, we all know what Lee Harvey Oswald looks like.
No, you need. Here it is. I got you.
Yeah, you need the side by side.
I got it. I got it. I got it. Yeah. He's walking out. My man's walking out of Dallas saying, I'm a patsy. And it just happens to be that, man, they coincidentally look real similar, don't they?
What the hell, man?
We live in the Matrix, bro.
That's
it's all a show.
Yeah. It's a show, and it's an old-ass show. Now, the story of Lee Harvey Oswald is remembered by many people who are currently alive. What do you think they're saying to themselves when they see that side by side? Do they think to themselves, it was real back then, but now it's a show, and they're using real things to call me back to that?
I'll try to be quick with this, Joe, because I got a lot to say, but I'll be quick. I believe they're speaking to 3 or potentially 4 different audiences, right? There's the audience that's just going to buy the whole thing. That's what happened, right? And there's a purpose to that because that activated 190 turning point chapters. It got the kids activated. It made Kirk a martyr. It activated a whole group of people, right? Okay, that's audience 1. I think audience 2 is Candace Owens' audience, which believes he's dead, but they purposely left all these holes in the thing, right? Like the 30-06 not matching and the covering up of the site, the hole in the ground, and the camera, right?
Hand signals, the guy jumping over the table, the pit next to him. They left so many questions. And then you got the Erica Kirk side. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're right. You're right. And I believe that was done on purpose to normalize the concept of dissecting what is a conspiracy out in the open, which wasn't allowed to happen when JFK was killed, right? So they purposely set it up this way, and they left all of these very obvious holes. That audience doesn't need to think Charlie Kirk is alive. They don't. They probably think he's dead, but they think, well, Stu Peters is saying it was a bomb that went off and this didn't happen, and they're letting people in 2026, millions of people. This is why I love this PSYOP. They're letting millions and millions of people dissect this, and Candace and people like that are leading them down the road towards a recreation of JFK, which is there was a foreign entity that had to take this guy out. The FBI was in on it. They covered it up. They made this guy a patsy. None of it adds up, and they're all learning. And then they got third audiences, us over here, going, the whole damn thing is fake.
And here's the other part to add to it. This isn't a standalone compatory. What's her face that died at J6? Freaking Ashley Babbitt. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We've Donald Trump getting shot in the ear. We have had so many of these go down. I mean, even the dumb ones, like the car that crashed into the White House with the Nazi flag and it was a Mexican guy. Like, how often do they have to test your critical thought and get you to separate emotion before it starts to land? And this is the big one.
Ass load of times. They have to do it so many times because people still think Butler's real and they're mad about it. When I tell them that Butler's fake, they're like, what are you, a freaking communist sympathizer?
Right.
Well, and you know why that is, Patrick? That's by the design of it. That each time, remember, look, we'll go back to Chase Hughes. That great video that Mark Atrack pulled up that we did on his show, where he said one of his predictions for 2026 is the PSYOPs will get more frequent and more obvious. And if you look at this, every time, a lot of people didn't get the the Butler thing. They couldn't buy into that. But then they run Charlie Kirk, and each time they're doing it, they're making, let's call that middle audience I'm talking about, audience B, the Kansas. They're making that audience bigger and bigger every time they run one of these by design.
It's impressive, and I think it's safe to say that they're doing it this way because they need it to be a gradual increase in the population. An overnight awakening would be utterly destructive.
You can't just slash the neck of society.
Yep.
There has to be a growth. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Walking Dead. There's a lot there has to be a growth.
Dork.
Well, when I found out it was made by Valhalla Entertainment, I got stuck watching it. But but yeah, I mean, literally think about that, Patrick. The Walking Dead made by Valhalla Entertainment. Come on.
Perfect.
So you have to have that gradual growth in the conversation and the psyche of society before it can become a mainstream thing, before you can go, okay, 4 to 6% are lost forever. Well, we're not there yet. That's why we're still going through PSYOPs.
I saw it. Joe and I saw it personally on Sunday. Joe, can I quickly tell that story? The Sandy Hook story.
Absolutely.
We were out having lunch with a few friends, and everyone was watching. I think it was like the Duke basketball game. There was a group sitting next to me from Boston. They were tourists. They were from out of town. And I started talking to the woman next to me, and it's a common question. She's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Well, I live here." And then the next question, they're like, "Well, what do you do?" Because they think everyone here, like, I don't know, just hangs out on the beach all day. And I said, "I'm a podcaster." And she said, "Well, about what?" And I could hear Joe cracking up over my shoulder.
Just like this.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, it's kind of like deep what most people would call conspiracy theories." And like her eyes lit up. She goes, "Oh, tell me more." This happens all the time. And the long story short is she asked, well, what is like the darkest secret that you know? And I tried to just think of something that she could relate to. So I said, "Well, do you know anything about 9/11? She goes, "Oh yeah, I know all that." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, you're from what, Boston, Connecticut area?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, remember Sandy Hook?" She said, "Yeah." I said, I had a couple of drinks in me at the time.
Nice.
He did.
I said, "Well, nobody died that day." And she almost fell out of her chair. But here's the thing, right? She kept asking questions. She wanted to know why, what was the purpose behind it. And when I said, "Hey, government gun control," I would say she bought it. Now, Joe and I both told her, we're like, "Look," and she asked, "Where can I find out more information?" We said, "Do you know what Rumble is?" She said, "Yeah." She's going to go there. But she was visibly shook by it. Like, I might have ruined her Sunday by accident. Like, she's like, "How do you process it?" Like, the point is, I witnessed it happen. But the thing is, she's a good example of what I think are the people that are around us, that like people are starting to learn that things aren't what they seem. I guarantee if we had run into that woman 5-6 years ago, that conversation would not have been the same. That's just my theory. So she was primed enough that when you come to her with something like Sandy Hook, although it's very shocking, it was very disturbing for her, she did want to learn about it. But the point is, if Joe saw it, if you kind of witnessed her reaction, that's exactly why, to Joe's point, you can't just go out there and start slitting throats. Like you said, you just can't.
But here's the thing that I noticed that I'm not sure if Dave did or he didn't. That woman was in a group of 5. Okay. I was watching this from a distance. My distance was 3 feet, but I was watching it outside the conversation, right? And so I saw the other 4 people that were in her group, because she was right next to Dave, and then there was 4 more. And 2 were intently listening and not paying attention to the conversation they were in. And the other 2 were rolling their eyes like, "Oh my God, our friend's crazy." Mm-hmm. So it was this very interesting give and take between a group of 5 people while Dave was having a one-on-one conversation with this woman that was very interested, which it was like a social experiment I was sitting back and paying attention to. It was very cool.
But guess what, Joe? 3 out of 5. That's not what I think most people think. I think most people think it's 1 out of 10. That's just like that. That's an important point you just made right there.
Dude, I got my eye surgery like maybe 3 years ago now. And I just had to go in there, and I got asked by one of my fellow about to get their eyes cut into people. And I told her I was a YouTuber. I just said YouTuber. I'd been kicked off of YouTube. But then she asked, so where can I find you? Well, you can't really find me on YouTube. I got kicked off. She said, why? I said, because I have wrong think. And she said, oh, well, that just means you're telling the truth. And that was a random stranger.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And that was 3 years ago. Just imagine the level of waking up that's taken place since then.
Yeah. It's funny because Dave and I run into these situations all the time now, especially because like Dave used to lie about what he did. And I kind of threw that whole thing under the bus. I just tell everybody right away, like, yeah, we're professional conspiracy theorists. Dave looks at me like, you MFer.
No, but Joe, I've said on other podcasts, I'm glad you did that now because now I don't care.
Yeah.
And you were right.
Now we have the talks. Now we have these talks. And
Joe, am I exaggerating if I said that 99 out of 100 times people want to hear more?
It haven't, even the ones that don't believe us. We've had interactions, Patrick, where we're sitting there and I go way too far, right? Kind of in my nature, right? Surprise. I go way too far. I mean, I really pissed off this girl that was in her early 20s. Remember that one, Dave?
That was the one.
Yeah. I went.
Bro, come on. How'd you piss off?
I can't remember what I did. Do you remember, Dave? I said something. I went way too far. Anyway, but it was funny because she kept talking. She just got mad. And I'm thinking in my head, how does it make you feel, bish? I'm like, I don't care. It's 1:30. The bar closes in a half an hour.
Stick to the positive side, Joe.
No, because she left there. I can't remember what it was, but she left there thinking, you got to try every angle.
She left there thinking, what an asshole.
I hate that guy.
No, but it's true. Like even the times where I've listened to Joe talk to people about Biden not being Biden, and I'm not saying like everyone falls head over heels and believes it, but that might be a bridge a little bit too far. But they'll want to talk about all the other stuff. Like I'm telling you, I am on my dad, and it's not just here in Florida. I've been traveling, like I've been all over. I'm telling you. My belief is it's 98, 99 out of 100 conversations that I've had with people. If you bring up conspiracy theories, they know some and they want to hear more. Yep. It is no longer, I cannot tell you the last time somebody called me a conspiracy theorist in a negative way.
Right. That is over.
I even had that young kid, that girl I'm talking about. I had her ear for about an hour until I crossed the line.
Damn it, dude. What was the line you crossed?
Can't remember.
Whatever.
It was something.
Boring story.
Oh, well, no, but this is the social experiments, Dave and I. This is what you get to do when you're a coworker who is a podcaster on conspiracy theories and you go out together. You get to do these social experiments every time you go out when people ask the question.
Wait till they get a load of me, dude. Right. You should take me in there.
Joe, I got to send you. Can I play that video I sent you the other night for my friends at home? Is that over the line? Remember when they texted me at like 12 in the morning and they want to know what's going on in the world?
I don't know. They're your friends.
What do I care?
So I'll set this up then while Dave's looking. He did send this to me. Pretty sure that wasn't crossing the line, but this might be. His friends from back home are looking at the news and they're starting to have questions. And they're like, we need to call Dave. Like, he's a good friend of ours. We kind of have an idea what he does. We've seen some of what he's, does on his show or whatever. We know that he went kind of in that direction. And now we're starting to question things. So we're going to call Dave while we're out at the bar and ask him what the hell is going on. And it was very, very interesting. Did I give you enough time, Dave?
I have it real quick. Do you want to do your
We're an hour and 55 minutes in. Why don't we give Patrick a few
Do
minutes?
that first, and then I'll have this ready.
Patrick, tell everybody what's going on over at the lab, my friend.
My friend, check out tulipblooms.shop. I've got this review of the Satin Balm from Lori Kokinda. Everything I've tried makes my skin feel silky. Everything I've tried makes my skin feel silky. I've figured out what my face wants in morning and night. Here in upstate New York, we have quick changes in weather. This yo-yo effect challenging with 60-year-old skin. And I love the Satin Balm the most. My friends, Tulip Blooms' Satin Balm is one of our most amazing breakthrough products. It contains prickly pear oil and it contains mango butter. And those things are the base, and they're amazing on your skin all on their own, all organic. We check every single certificate of analysis. But the other one that's going to just really break through for you is bakuchiol. And that comes from the bakuchi tree, which is nature's alternative to retinol. I never go a single day without putting this product under my eyes. Everybody who has used it, and just check out the reviews, they're absolutely amazing. It just makes the wrinkles relax. It does it in a way that is all natural and that doesn't make you ultra photosensitive like retinol does. And then the part that just really rounds it out with this amazing balm is that it contains the very highest grade neroli essential oil. That's right, the essential oil of the orange blossom flower, all of it together made by us directly in this facility by hand in small batches. So if you want to be nice to your skin, if you want to look better than you've ever looked before in your life, go to tulipblooms.shop and get your hands on the Satin Balm and use promo code Rambo for 10% off. When you do that, 25% of the order goes straight into an account that pays the bills right here at Rambo and Friends. Go to tulipblooms.shop, get the Satin Balm, promo code Rambo.
Patrick, thank you so much for supporting this show. I know your products are loved by everybody, and I absolutely am super grateful that it supports the show the way that it does. So thank you, bro. I'm going to get real for a second again. Leading into Patrick's event, I had some things go down with lawyers and my son or whatever. And so when I got there, I mean, let's just be honest, I wasn't comfortable with myself. And Dave will tell you, on the way home, we sat together in the airport, and I told him, I said, I'm on a mission when we get home. I want to get back in shape. I want to take this thing serious. I haven't been very structured about it. And I'll tell you, when I weighed myself that night when I got home, and I was 222 pounds. Okay. I weighed myself this morning, 216. It's progress. That's progress, right? And so I'm very excited about that. I've been getting up every morning. I've been drinking both drinks, the fiber one just before I eat. I've been eating one major meal a day, only one breakfast snack, and I've been drinking the Unamate. The way that it said, actually, I've had multiple. I've done 3 a couple days because I'm on a mission. So we've been getting up. I'm literally sore right now because I'm also trying to work out with it. You know, once you get structured and you get into something seriously, my goal is to be in much better shape by the time I'm at any event with someone the next time. So take a look if you want to take this journey with me. Patrick, you have a link as well, right? Do you want to say that first?
epichealth.shop.
What's
I'm down to 201, so I've officially lost 21 pounds.
Yeah. Well, since I've been home, from 222 to, and I always do it in the morning, right, to pull the scale out. I was 222 the morning I got home. I was 216 this morning. So I'm hoping that that's due to what's going on here with the Feel Great protocol. Take a look. Hopefully you guys join me. And next time I plan on being old skinny Joe without the Patrick, what did you say about me? You were like,
you look hot as a meth head.
Well, I'm not going to do meth again, but I will try Unicity. So take a look.
been diabetic for several decades. The last 15, 20 years, especially horrible diabetic. Gut health was awful. Gastroparesis, GERD, diverticulosis, IBS. I've already had a heart attack about 14 years ago. All I was getting was more and more medicines, and it just kept making me more and more sick. So this really turned my head when I seen somebody online that said, we can reverse those things. They're not chronic the way they've been telling you. I lost 30 or 40 pounds in about 5 weeks. Neuropathy, which went from chest to toes, about 85 to 90% better. I'm seeing at least 80% or more improvement in 10 weeks. At this point today, I'm taking nothing but the Feel Great system, but I'm way, way better.
If you're ready to reclaim your health and feel great again, go to rambospecial.com.
Pray for me. I'm not good at structure, but I'm trying my ass off, and I hope you guys try it with me. So thank
By
you.
the way, it makes you lose weight by suppressing appetite during your fasting window. And then when it's time to eat, it suppresses how much you eat with the fiber product, which expands in your stomach and gives you less room to stick food in. And it makes you less hungry during that time as well. It just makes intermittent fasting doable by us mortals.
Right. And I want to throw in there, if I understand it correctly, Patrick, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a GLP-1 aspect, right? Like you don't need a shot or a synthetic when it can be done naturally. And it does a better job in a way that's more.
Well, your body already produces GLP-1. So all these other GLP-1 drugs are there to make you, they're not actually GLP-1. They're making you produce GLP-1, which leads to appetite suppression. It takes the food obsession away a little bit. And the same effect is accomplished with the yerba mate that is in unamate. And the same effect is accomplished by expanding stuff in your tummy. So the mechanism is different, but appetite suppression is the goal.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dave. I should have set you up with plenty of time.
Yeah. You know what? We're getting short on time. We'll do that on Saturday. It doesn't matter. We get too much stuff to get through.
By the way, you know the whole you saw the whole thing with, I guess, people saying that, well, us saying that we're being shown stories about things that have happened a long time ago, right?
Yeah, that's what I say.
We showed the stand-up comedian with the audience member, right?
Oh yeah,
Whitney Cummings. Okay, good, because I just thought that was appropriate for what we've been showing, because
I could literally make that part of my intro. It was so big to me, right? It was literally a guy from the military, right? But anybody that hasn't seen that, it's a guy from the military at Whitney Cummings' comedy show, and she's doing crowd work and asks the dude.
I've got it right here. Yeah, it's real short.
Yeah, I don't care. Play it again. If you
yeah,
got
I'll pop it up there just for grins. A veteran at Whitney Cummings, and can you see? Yeah, can you see that? I think that it just has to be that size. I don't think I can maximize it, or maybe I can. All right, there we go. It's as big as it gets. And I will hit play. Let me unmute this site real quick. All right.
Someone tell him about Apple Pay. Wait, what? Where in the military were you? How was that? Yeah, I want the full conspiracy. Let's go.
I was at the VA a year and a half after an operation that we went to. Breaking news, the operation that we did a year and a half ago popped up on the news. I immediately went to go check, and I'm like, is this modern? And they said, yes. And I said, no, it's not. I need to go talk to mental health, because I was there when that happened.
Oh, so you go and say, like, what's on the news isn't true.
Yes.
Am I going crazy?
Yeah, and it broke my whole reality.
Whoa. I don't want to even know this. I feel like we're all he cannot stop drinking. I think he's telling the truth. Why did you just drag us into this nightmare? Is the Bermuda Triangle real?
Yes, because of a series of wins, not anything else.
All right. Yeah. Like he knows everything.
No, Patrick, that is probably my favorite real life on video recalls of what it is that I and then Dave, for that matter, you talk about all the time, that things are being given to us on a level of what we call D class, right? And not in real time. And that guy came out and said it and was filmed saying it, and he is military. That's a big deal.
And he was talking about something that he did a year ago. Now we're looking at things that happened 8 years ago.
Right. Same concept though. He said year and a half. He said I was part of that operation, and they're playing it on the TV now like it happened yesterday. And he's like, no, it didn't. That happened a year and a half ago. I was there. Oh, well, thanks for co-signing everything we talk about. You know what else I think?
What?
I think that was plastered all over the internet on purpose.
Yeah. It's possible that it happened organically as part of a stand-up routine. That's possible. What's not possible is that it went friggin' viral organically.
Right. Every night of the week, there's millions of interactions between people in an audience and a comedian on stage, and one got plastered everywhere.
Dude, but that one woman bragging about all her vaxes and then collapsing on stage.
Oh, come on.
Bro. Okay, but no, I'm not. I get it. But the fucking pratfall she did, that was injurious. Nobody would coach anybody to fall like that if it were a staged event.
The soccer players falling over looked very real as well. It was very messy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Look,
I just want to know how they did that particular magic trick. That's what I'm saying.
Here, I'll tell you how. This is my opinion, Patrick. Take it or leave it. I watch Donald Trump speeches and rallies ad nauseum for the last 8 years. Do you know how many times there's been a medical emergency because somebody fainted due to standing in line or bright lights? Or it's a lot, bro. Over 17. Okay? Lots and lots of times. All it takes now, I can't deny the coincidence that she was talking about vaccines when it happened. That's a mind blower. But you know, people fall over on sports fields all the time. Things happen.
She said, Jesus loves me the most. And then got struck down.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I give up. I quit. I got no argument. I got nothing. All I'm saying is, though, if something does happen, it will either be shown to us on a level that's like smacking you in the face, or it'll just not be shown to us. That's information control. Now, that her talking about vaccines and yeah, that was pretty crazy. But people fall over on sports fields all the time. You know, we had the Bills guy. Remember that?
Tamar Hamlin.
Hamlin, dude.
In week 17. By the way, that was week 17.
In week 17,
know that.
The ambulance was fake. Everything about it was fake. God. That is a staged event.
Yep.
No, all it takes is for one soccer player to fall over because he literally had something wrong with him, dehydration, whatever it might be. And then they plaster that all over your TV for it to be amplified messaging. One real event plastered everywhere is a message that everybody sees. I don't know. Dave, I see you have something pulled up there, and we're starting to get long in the tooth here. Do you want to do that first?
I think I don't think we should end the show without touching on Ukraine.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's do that.
I said USAID we started the show with NGOs and no kings, and I guess we'll finish the show that way. And we said you're going to hear about USAID again. So what we were just talking about, I don't know. The way I'm just seeing these things right now, these narrative deployments are coming in 3s and 4s. And here's another case. Where should I start with this? Oh, that would be the wrong. Sorry, guys. Joe, car crashed me. My StreamYard's frozen. Can you see if you can remove that? Because apparently I can't.
Remove what?
Remove that slide.
Remove what slide?
You don't have anything on the screen right now?
Not at all.
Awesome. All right, let me duck out. Come back in. Give me 1 sec.
Now you got car crashed. There goes Dave. All All right, I guess I'm taking over. You're still here, Patrick, right?
Oh yeah.
Dave just
No way. He's back.
Now he's got two of them. I got to get rid of this one and bring this one up.
There we go.
All right, you're back. Do I need to buy you better internet or what?
Apparently. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're back.
All right. Is this coming up on the stage for you?
Yes.
All right. Good. Now that we got that out of the way, what the hell was I about to talk about? Yeah, here we go. Now it's gone? You have to be kidding me. Guys, I'm terribly sorry. StreamYard things.
But we're going to cover one thing we
No. Not that yet. Sorry. I'm trying to fix something. All right. Here we go. I swear to God, it's like somebody's messing with me right now. Okay. So.
All right, go ahead.
We'll start with the weekend, and this is all going to group together, and I think it paints a picture of where they're trying to point us towards stuff that we were told about years ago. We had a report, I think the actual strike was like on Friday, that Ukraine has suddenly turned around and hit one of Russia's largest oil terminals. You believe that, right? You believe they have the ability to get through and do that. That was on Saturday, Sunday. We got this interesting headline yesterday, along with Ukraine, that the EU approved exactly, of course, $1.7 billion defense program to boost industry and integrate into Ukraine. Again, pertaining to the war, right? So back-to-back headlines here, kind of bringing Ukraine back into the forefront. And then over the weekend, everybody was down in Dallas at CPAC, and we got this report regarding Ukraine, US aid from John Solomon.
We heard about it over the course of the day. The United States government, the National Security Agency, intercepted conversations of President Zelensky's government in Ukraine in 2022, late 2022, conspiring with federal workers at the USAID to come up with a plan to take $200 million of USAID money. That is your money, folks, taxpayer money, route it through a series of transactions, move it into the United States, and launder it into Joe Biden's 2024 campaign and the Democratic National Committee. We have the intercepts for the first time. Tulsi Gabbard's team was willing to declassify them. There is now an investigation underway, beginning with USAID, to look at who was involved, whether any crimes were committed, and if that is the case, to refer that to the FBI in the next few days. Those declassified documents up at justthenews.com. You can go check about it today. Members of Congress have been clamoring all day to get their hands on the documents. I expect Tulsi Gabbard to make a statement later tonight on where things are evolving in her investigation. But we've gone from the era of weaponization, where the primary tool was using prosecutors and FBI agents to disable Donald Trump and his followers and all the good people around him, to now potentially conspiring with foreign powers to have an impact on our elections. We had the Ukraine stuff this morning, and remember what we told you 3 weeks ago. Proof from the FBI that China sent tens of thousands of driver's licenses to the United States with fake names to get fake ballots to vote for Joe Biden in the 2020 election. Those aren't my words. Those are the words of the FBI informant in the FBI documents that we made public a few months ago. So China possibly conspiring with Joe Biden and the Democrats, and now possibly Ukraine. 2 investigations.
Now, I find that. Go ahead, Joe.
No, you keep going. I got something to add when you're done.
I find that interesting for a number of reasons. If you read the story, they're actually talking about USAID funneling money in 22 for the 24 election, right? So repeats are necessary. Now think about how that connects to everything else we've been talking about, the messaging, right? What has this year all been about? Exposing fraud. Your money's being stolen. Step 1, you teach the people your money's being stolen. Step 2, you teach the people how they're weaponizing it against you. So obviously the protests are a big way. Now we're moving back into election fraud, but they're bringing it forward, repeats necessary, into 2024. But go back to 2020. Before the stolen election that people think Donald Trump got hoodwinked and he didn't know they were going to steal it. And remember what Q told us on October 7th, 10/7? Patrick, can you read the drop on the right?
Q drop 4822 of October 7th, 2020. What happens if Biden became POTUS, knowing he, through Hunter +1, took massive amounts of bribes to change, look the other way, U.S. policy towards Ukraine in favor of Ukraine? Would Ukraine own and control the White House? Q.
Now, what was the other country he mentioned in that same news piece? Was China, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the drop rate, that was 48.22. What did drop 48.21 say on the same day? Patrick.
Q dropped 4,821 of October 7th, 2020. What happens if Biden became POTUS, knowing he, through Hunter +2, took massive amounts of bribes to change, look the other way, U.S. policy towards China in favor of China? Would China own and control the White House? Q.
So there are two countries, as Donald Trump said at the end of last year, we're about to get truckloads of evidence about 2020. We've had the FBI raid on the Georgia election office. We've had one in Maricopa County, right? And now you've had this injection of foreign interference in the Supreme Court, foreign interference with Epstein, foreign interference in 2020. And Solomon is highlighting two countries in particular, and they just happen to be the same two that were named 1 month before the 2020 election even happened. Is that all coincidence?
But gas prices are high. No kings.
Right. Exactly. But what I love about this is now they're injecting U.S. aid into it, and they're taking it a step further. Donald Trump got impeached twice. The second impeachment was about what? The perfect phone call to
Ukraine.
That was the first impeachment.
How many?
I'm sorry, the first impeachment. Excuse me. The first impeachment was about the perfect phone call to
Ukraine.
What do we start the show with? Talking about NGOs, USAID?
Ukraine.
Listen to this.
New reporting reveals that USAID and a CIA analyst were behind a project that later led to one of Trump's impeachments. Independent journalist Michael Schellenberger joins us to try to convince me that I should believe this. Shelley, always a pleasure. Good to see you, Mike.
Great to see you, Chris.
Also, sorry, before I go any further, keep in mind, let me state the obvious. This is going out to a liberal audience, obviously.
Well, I mean, the public has to leer.
Right.
So, sell me on it. How much do you believe this?
Well, look, here's what we know. We know that USAID effectively created this organization called the Organized Crime and Corruption Research Project, Reporting Project, OCCRP, which nobody's heard of, but it teams up with well-known news media companies around the world. We know that it would not exist had it not rerouted a State Department grant from its Narcotics Enforcement Division through USAID, and that USAID can sign off on all of the senior, has to sign off, has a requirement to sign off on all the senior staff and on the work plan. We also know that it did the foundational research that was essential to bringing the impeachment case against Trump in December of 2019. It was what the CIA whistleblower relied upon in his initial complaint in December, or in December of 2019. So those are the facts of it.
Wait,
when you
explain
piece
that
it
part.
together and you
Explain that part, Michael. Explain what they funded and how it's connected to what the CIA agent and who that was, what we know, because I thought it was the original guy was the British guy that was hired by the Oppo Research.
Okay, real quick, let me just stop there. He's mixing it up with Christopher Steele, but everyone should screen cap this slide right here. Because if you go back to what we talked about 2 weeks ago, I think, on D-Class, Abraham Lincoln dropped 22, wrote an executive order in 1864 to jail journalists, dropped 32, rest assured, some MSM will be jailed as deep cover agents. Executive Order 13848, which has clauses in it for colluding with acting as a foreign agent to interfere in an election, assets can be seized from said news organizations. This map right here is literally showing you how the crime was committed, one of the many ways. So when somebody wants to come to you and says, you can't just arrest journalists for giving their opinion, they didn't just give their opinion. They were told what to say, and they were told what to say using our own tax dollars. That's effing illegal.
You gonna
Everyone
leave it
should
to
screen cap that. Yeah.
Amen.
Place that Clinton had been working with, and he was collecting it from his sources. What are you believing now?
Yeah, I mean, this is the case of you remember, this is where Trump talks about the perfect phone call with Ukrainian
So
President
this is his
Zelensky.
second impeachment.
Impeachment, yeah, of 2019. So this is basically a situation where the CIA person in the White House who had been left over by Obama writes a complaint describing alleged violation of the law. This was then picked up in the House, impeached Trump. The Senate, of course, declined to hear it. But I think what's so interesting here is that this is an organization that's behind it, that's funded by USAID, that would not exist without USAID, engaging in what I think you have to consider to be domestic politics, which is absolutely forbidden. You have to remember that our intelligence agencies, our foreign policy establishment, of which USAID is a big part, it's not really an economic development agency. I think people misunderstand that part. It's really about soft power. It's about establishing the power of the United States in like an aggressive way, including in regime change. The head of this group, OCCRP, actually brags of helping to change the governments in 4 or 5 different countries, actually brags of the regime change. So this looks like regime change tactics that the CIA and USAID had done abroad being brought back home against Donald Trump.
So why did we need that? And what did they do that was on top of what we already knew? The call happened. It was recorded. There's no question that Giuliani was mucking around over there and that Trump absolutely connected the relationship with Ukraine to what they could do to help Giuliani's efforts. So why did they need any OOCRP or whatever they're called? And what do you think they added to the stew?
I mean, I think the latter is not something that you have a consensus on in both parties, obviously. I mean, it was a partisan vote. It was Democrats. There's no Republicans that they got in the House.
100%.
The Senate obviously didn't hear it. And, you know, Zelensky himself said he didn't feel pressured by Trump to go and dig up dirt on the Bidens. So that's just a matter of disagreement. It's a thin, I think if you look back retrospectively, it's a pretty thin case for impeachment. It's supposed to be high crimes and misdemeanors. So then you have to ask, well, where does it come from? And when you see that the two main organizations behind it are the CIA and USAID, which is basically considered a front-facing regime change organization for the U.S. government. CIA is USAID is sort of the overt for U.S. allies. It's propping up governments. It's doing work to support them. For countries that would get change in government, we're trying to interfere politically to overthrow them. That's what we do. That's what our global policy has been. Look, I mean, so one possibility, and I don't know that this is the reason, I haven't heard from my sources, but I mean, look, you know, you have an agency that was engaged in what appears to be domestic politics going all the way back to Trump's impeachment. Could that have been one of the motives for why they decided that this was an organization that had to pay a very high price? I mean, it's really really shutting down the whole organization.
Hey, thanks for watching.
So you got 1, 2, Solomon 3, 4 Ukraine stories getting deployed within days of each other, banging off of Q drops written on 10/7/2020. But that last one is freaking massive. Massive.
Well,
we all knew this stuff, but
yeah, that's we have to get it. Yeah, we'll get. I'm over that. You know,
over it, but the
gets to break the story. Good for him. But
but Patrick, it's important, right? People must be able to digest and accept factually. We keep saying that. We know all this stuff happened, but the people that are saying nobody's been arrested, right? We have not yet made the case to the public to arrest journalists. I'm sorry. I know we understand why COVID, name it. But we're waiting for what are they going to show the public and how are they going to do it so that people will accept what it says in Drop 32. That's a big freaking start right there.
Your point is so valid. There's another one that should sit right on top of this. Homo Cuomo at News Nation is talking in Q drops. How many times did they just say regime change?
I stopped counting.
And that liberal audience just got to listen. Yeah, Cuomo threw in a little. I think Cuomo's part of it at this point. Cuomo threw in a little bit of enough plausible liberal deniability.
Michael Schellenberger is a right-wing Nazi, according to the proper, gatekeeping information sources. Remember when Michael Schellenberger broke the Twitter files?
Yep.
That makes him a right-wing propagandist at that point. And he's going on Cuomo homo.
Let me just put this up one more time for people that don't quite grasp.
Why don't we read it out loud? Q drop 1558, June 19, 2018. Free Iran. Fight, fight, fight. Regime change. People have the power. We stand with you. Q. June 19th, which I think is
June 19, 2018. This is why we talk about what we're getting now as D class rather than in real time.
Now tell me this. Is that Trump's birthday? No. June
no,
14th.
It's 14th.
Yeah.
But the bigger point is they're finally starting to land the plane of the regime change being done here.
Correct.
Here with our tax dollars, with US aid, with the intelligence agencies colluding with the media. It's all in that chart. That's the case you need to make if you want to start arresting journalists.
There's layers to the fraud, right? So society has to understand that there's real fraud going on. And the TDS crew that's out here doing No Kings protests really aren't going to just be like, yeah, that's okay. I understand fraud, USAID. What Dave said is true. But there's fraud being exposed everywhere. Dave, do you have another thing you want to show?
Nope.
Let me throw this in.
This is a Fox News alert. Saturday in America continuing to track fraud allegations all across the country. We've seen it in Maine. We brought you some questions about some funding that allegedly was misused in Maine. Those were private donations. Then California. And now, here's the next state, Massachusetts. Now, the state's auditor just released a report revealing massive fraud within programs like Mass Health, the Department of Transitional Assistance, and the Department of Early Education and Care. These are all programs that provide social services to the Massachusetts community. And as you can see, there was over $4 million in fraud uncovered in the state's SNAP program alone. Another $1.3 million connected to the state's Mass Health program, and hundreds of thousands of dollars found in other state programs. We're also learning of 22 civil recoveries that reclaimed nearly $800,000 in fraudulent overpayments. Now, the total amount of fraud in fiscal year 2025 alone was nearly $12 million. That's in 1 year. That's your money. Now, as all this fraud is being exposed, President Trump is reportedly planning to sign an executive order establishing a new fraud task force. Signaling its importance, it will be led by Vice President J.D. Vance.
Yeah, well, that's it. That clip's a couple of weeks old because they had their first meeting. But you're right. That's what they've been seeding the whole time. And now I wasn't going to show this, but they're Joe, where did Trump say they were going to go after Minneapolis that was going to be worse? California.
California, yeah.
And then Nick Shirley goes to California.
Yep. Yeah.
James O'Keefe goes to California, gets beat up again, like he got beat up in Minneapolis. Right.
Funny.
And then listen to the comms they throw into this one.
Looks like that supposedly houses 197 different
What's 1 + 9 + 7?
17.
hospice and healthcare companies.
That's California lawmaker Ali Macedo investigating suspected hospice fraud in L.A.
I did not see a single person coming in or out of the building.
Neither did we in January.
Lots of offices, but no people.
3 floors, no employees or patients. Yet look at the dozens of providers licensed at this one.
818, 8 + 1 + 8, 817. Yeah, you get the idea.
Dozens of providers licensed at this one address. 5 years ago, state auditors flagged this location for potential fraud. They say they found non-working phones, locked doors, and stolen Medicare numbers.
In LA County, California, 89 hospice companies
17.
How many? Yep.
are registered to a single address.
Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill say California's weak oversight helped perpetuate fraud, a charge Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom denies.
I'll stop there. I think you get the point.
Bro, we got to show that clip of him. One more thing, Patrick, before we get out of here. Okay, Dave, you're right on point. Well, what makes a bad movie? What makes a
bad
good
actors?
Yeah, good actors, bad actors, right? Dude, if we're going to talk about California, they almost just went into it. Did you see Gavin Newsom? Did you see that actual clip?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. That one where he was talking there?
What he was about to say, yeah.
No.
Thank you. By the way, thank to our host. Where are you? This place is next level, man. This is one of the most interesting places I've ever been in. ADHD Avenue. I mean, everything about this is, I feel like I'm home. You know, dyslexics that are surrounded by, you know, these special folks, particularly the young folks there. So I'm grateful. I'm also weird. Sharon, I'm you know, forgive me. You know, this is embarrassing. You can turn all that off. Just because all the noise, you know, that we just need to turn off. And this. Listen to this. This is it, man. This is it. You want to fix all this stuff? This is it. Listen to these guys. You know, we're all just sitting there yelling and screaming at each other. Everybody's getting each other's throats and trying to tear everybody down. And, you know, how are we going to get out of this? This is it. You heard these guys. Programs like this, community leaders like this. And I just, it's like, why are we so stupid? Why can't we just get this? It's so obvious what we need to do. And so I'm just deeply.
What the fuck was that?
You gonna cry? What the hell am I looking at?
I too now have become retarded after watching him speak.
Act is gonna act.
Holy crap, dude, that is a gift that this whoever that is has. Oh my God. By the way, that's a rubber mask right there. As far as I'm concerned, that was a dude engaging in next level, as he said, Oscar winning, magical performance art. I felt it. I felt like all of these retards over here. I'm also stupid. I'm stupid like these retards. You know? Why are we all so stupid like these retards? That was amazing. I love that actor. I want to hire that actor. Somebody, I'm going to do a Tulip Blooms commercial. He can star in it. Amazing.
That was so cringy.
It was amazing.
Oh, I felt it.
Unbelievable.
Who's the worst actor? Gavin Newsom or Tim Walz?
They're both geniuses.
Answer's yes.
Whoever's playing these guys, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
And of course, by the way, we didn't even touch on the fact that who did Gavin Newsom get into like his most public spat besides Trump? Nick Shirley.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
What about that woman charging at him and nobody came to his defense?
Yep.
Dude. Gavin Newsom, ever since the girl said that she would fill the hydrants herself, I just can't even, you know, like I already thought they were actors, but Gavin Newsom's been proven over and over and over. Just add this one to the list.
Yeah, I mean, everything about him screams theater kid.
Right.
1000%.
Well,
this timeline lit.
We're getting very long. Patrick, why don't you take the time to do your final thoughts? So I know you usually got to go because of the baby. So do your final thoughts, and me and Dave will do thank yous.
Thank you, everybody, for your wonderful words about Threadfest 3. Great time. You can check out merch for that event at epicthreads.tv. And challenge coins, and you can get a discounted ticket to watch all of the live stream that we recorded. So epicthreads.tv, check that out. You could check out tulipblooms.shop and get the amazing satin balm. We just got a new shipment of Neroli. The certificate of analysis is incredible. Use promo code RAMBO for 10% off and support the channel. And of course, you can find me on the P. Gunnels Rumble channel. And oh, by the way, P. Gunnels Rumble channel, P. Gunnels1 on Twitter. I have some thank yous, actually. I brought up the chat early enough so that I can actually just quickly shout them out. Crustum Money Proceed Cake, $20. Happy birthday, Patrick. Which product is it that contains ambergris? Tulip Soothe rules. None of our products contain ambergris. I have ambergris, and I'm messing around with it in the lab. But there's a long road between getting us a wonderful material like that and putting it in a product. And it involves a lot of testing, believe it or not. But I love ambergris, and one of these days we're going to have it in some of our products. Just in case friend gifted 10 subscriptions. Thank you so much for that, sir. Whole guide, $2. Thanks, Patrick, for all your continued work. This is No Thanks, Joe from Pilled on my only Rumble account. God bless and be safe. And thank you so much for that. We also have $5 from Do59. Happy 50th. I pray you have a blessed day. And based in South Carolina, $10. Happy birthday, Patrick. I turned 50 today as well. Holy crap. We were both born March 31st, 1976. And those are my thank yous. So those are my Rumble rants. So thank you so much for that.
My son's on Thursday, so that's pretty close, Patrick. Pretty cool.
We got an Aries fest going on here. Aries Dragon. Anyway, guys, you guys are the best. What a great show. See you next time.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Dave, you want to go first, dude?
Yep. Let me come over here to Pilled. Matrix Codebreaker gifted the can. Boom time. Let's go. Thank you, friend. LA Martinez 05 gifted the cookie. How about the one and only return that matters, like the King of all kings, Lord Yeshua? Amen, my friend. Joe. No thanks, Joe. Gift of the cookie. Thanks, Dave, Joe, Patrick. Tuesday are the best because we're straight back into a new week of D-Class, comms, and truth. Long story short, my week starts on Tuesdays. God bless. Be safe. Thank you, friend. My week starts on Tuesdays as well. See you in AZ. Gifted the cookie. Thank you, friend. Actually, gifted 2 cookies. And Wonder World gifted a cookie. Thank you, guys, over there on Pilled. I will go ahead and release the scratch in. Rambo, go ahead, brother.
All right. Matrix Codebreaker did the same thing on my side. Boob time. Let's go with the can. Thank you, brother. Old Salty Dog, Lori P, and Ghost Rider, all 3 with the can. And no thanks, Joe gifted a cookie. Thank you all for the great shows each and every time, and keeps me sane throughout this period of the plan. I must always remind myself that patience is a virtue and try to live by God bless. Be safe. Boom. There it is. My Pilled side. I'll release the scratch and I'll give it to you for Rumble, Dave.
Guys, I think when my internet glitched right there, I have a feeling I lost a few of these over here on Rumble when I was having those connection issues. So I do apologize if I missed anybody. Mayhem in 2020 gifted $10. Rambo, what is the meaning of the little hands?
They were gifts from people at the event, and it's because I always do that I don't know what to do with my hands thing. So it's an inside joke for those that watch the show. I was given lots of hands at the event, as a matter of fact. And I think they're funny, so I play with them.
All right. Emerson Big Guns with a $1 rant. Joe is a bi-earther.
That's funny.
I love it. Buzz Balls with a $5 rant. I was talking to my friends about Trump's Graceland visit. Wasn't Elvis a twin? The side-by-side pic Trump posted. What if Trump is Elvis's twin? Joe, you want to answer that?
I don't think that they're twins. I think that the connection, the correlation was that that Elvis Presley worked with the FBI to take down the mafia and organized crime, and Donald Trump's doing the same. That after all the research I did on both of them, right? You guys know I've been researching Trump for a long time. I looked deep into to Elvis because of the visit to Graceland, and that's what I came up with. I think that's the point. that split screen Donald Trump put up there, that was to let you know that not only did Elvis work with the FBI, not only was he a snitch to help take down organized crime, but Donald Trump was connecting himself to that. That's where I'm at with it.
Yep, I'm with you, brother. That's kind of where I'm at too. Let's see. Parkmon one with a $2 rant. Joe is so tuned in. All three of you are tuned in. The D-Class show is the best. Thank you, my friend. Denise Volbrack, $10 rant. Amazing show, gentlemen. Thanks for all your hard work. Appreciate you all. Thanks for all your laughs today. Thank you, Denise. I believe that's all I have showing up over here, guys. Like I said, I think my internet glitch might have dropped some of them. And Joe, just before I hand it back to you, if I could give a shameless plug, I did a little pop-up live last night. Well, not live, stream last night. It's only about 45 minutes long. I would highly suggest everyone go check it out. It's titled Ending the Filibuster, the Key to Trump's Agenda. I did a breakdown of a bunch of stuff that came out over the weekend, and then also kind of did a revisit of a dig that we did on D-Class relating to the government shutdown and kind of why we're hearing all this stuff about the filibuster. It's a good thing to revisit because we did it like 6 months ago, and there's some new stuff in there. So if you get a chance, go check that out when you have a moment.
My man. Over on my Rumble side, Walker 75 $10 rant, wishing a very happy 50th birthday to Patrick. Yes, we all are. Thank you. Bigfoot 1975 $5 rant. Happy birthday, Sir Patrick. Welcome to the 50 Club. You were a magnificent bastard. Love that. Ismo's mom $1 rant. I downloaded Rumble Wallet. I need a tutorial on how to use it. So do I. All I see is crypto choices from the drop-down menu. How do I put money in my Rumble wallet to make a tip? Thanks.
I believe if you go on Rumble, being that they are a video streaming platform, I believe they have videos on there that will walk you through how to use it.
Good. That's a good point. Yes. Yeah, search that on Rumble. I'm sure you'll find it. Dave makes a great point. Simon says, Florida $1 rant. Ballers. Who did Big Balls work for? Doge, Musk, SpaceX, Artemis 2. April Fool's Day launch could be Big Balls D-Class. I love it. Thank you, Simon says. Toffee 1878 $5 rant. Love watching the boss sticking it to the UK establishment. No doubt he is using the art of war to bring down the city of London. It is glorious. Wow, I can't believe I read that so well. Yellow on white. PJW $10 rant. Old hippies who can't get any satisfaction from masturbation. Prove me wrong. Thanks, PJ. Thanks for making me read that. Carol Marine 13 $17 rant. Trump's signature is the golden crown. Yes, I touched on that when he wrote it. I actually agree. His signature does look like a king's crown.
Yep.
Jenny, reclaim your sovereignty. $50 rant. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Patrick. Sending you all the blessings. I am first gen on Gmail and sent you, one Jen on Gmail and sent you the Hey Y'all onesie for the baby girl. Thank you for all your laughs. Wishing you all the best and the happiest birthday ever. Jenny, I'll make sure that he hears that. JLL 1972 $1 rant. No rant, just appreciation for you guys. Thank you. We appreciate you too. PJW again with a $1 rant. They better be dragging 40% of the brain dead liberals into the awakening. I believe that's what's happening. Beer at the parade's good to see you. Did you see me call him Mead at the parade?
Yes.
That was one of my funnier, at least I thought it was funny, jokes. He was wearing that like medieval shirt. Like he was at the Renaissance fair. So I called him Mead at the parade. Good to see you, Beer. Thank you very much for the $1 time, choo-choo. Edward C. Taylor, $5 rant. God bless all. Thank you for all your great work. Thank you very much. Love to all. Love back at you, friend. Peekaboo UICU 17. Peekaboochie 17. $10 rant. I think the No Kings idiots are trying to get ahead of the midterms being canceled. I don't see how all the election corruption can be resolved before November. It's a good point. We're going to find out. That's for sure. Simon says, Florida $5 rant. Who remembers Donald J. Trump saying, I am the chosen one? Hugh saying, you were chosen for a reason. The Chosen premiere, December 24th, 2017. Only dropped 456 on December 24th It was 2017 Military Civilian Alliance. It's my favorite drop, actually. Dasting. Beer at the parade, $1 rant. Joe, please raid me, but only if I'm the first to ask with a link. I got you, Beer. Scrolling here. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody, friends. Thank you guys all for supporting the show. While I'm scrolling here, do me a favor. On your way out the door, it's the best way you can support any show. Hit the thumbs up on Rumble. Take that red pill and build. Hit the heart, drop a comment, share the show, whether you're watching on Facebook or X. Dave, anything you want to say before we get out of here, bro?
No, that's it. Let me just thank over here, Carrie Cat, Claudia, Doug, Magadai, our admins and mods. And obviously tomorrow night, be back with Mike King, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time live. Thanks as always, brother.
My man. Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to copy paste Beer's link here. Guys, go over and check out Beer at the Parade. Tell them Rambo and Dave sent you. And with that, we're going to get out of here. Much love. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the skiff with, I believe we'll have AO. I believe we'll have Sean. We'll definitely have Mickey. So, Adel might be stopping in as well. And with that, we're going to get out of here. Much love. We'll see you next time. Peace.